I hope you guys can hear me. I'm surprised you're awake. Hi. How are you? Alright, I guess I could go ahead and get started. Oh, right, the loading screens are bad. Alright. And sorry for not streaming last night. I got very busy. But we're streaming now, so I think at the very least I'm a little bit more awake than usual.
That's right. I'm keen to see how he's getting on. That fella's got himself wrapped up real tight.
I should turn down the game just a tiny bit. That works.
Do not expect too much change too quickly. It takes a while for thoughts to internalize, even when we know the truth of them logically. It took me only 2,800 years or so to internalize what I needed.
I don't think the doc's gonna be too keen to wait that long.
I do not think he will have to. Unlike myself, he has you to guide him.
Oh gosh, I barely know what I'm doing, boss. I'm not sure I can keep track of all these new distortions I know about.
Oh shit. I think I remember all of them, but let's see. Oh. Distortions. No, those two. Disqualifying positive. I don't generally know what that is. Personalization. I do that a lot. Emotional reasoning. I also do that a lot. I do a lot of these a lot. I do these like too much.
I do not expect you to. We humans are distortion machines, my friend. But let us ensure we address Dr. Drain's core distortion. You know what it is, don't you?
Should?
That fella's a should statement machine, I'll tell you what.
That's right. We can be certain he will carry this distortion with him, but I would like you to pick the rest to keep in mind, Samuel. Up until this point, you have addressed client distortions in small clusters. But now that you are aware of more cognitive distortions, you will notice them everywhere. We must not use cognitive distortions as weapons to beat our clients with. So pick 4 more to keep in mind during your session.
But what do I do if I detect he's showing the distortions I'm putting aside?
You do not need to address all of them, my friend. You will not catch every distortion, and if you did, I believe your clients would find you irritating. I do not alert you to half of your cognitive distortions. We know that Dr. Drain will exhibit should statements. What else do you think he will come to this session with?
Oh, control fallacy? Disqualifying the positive. Labeling. And black and white thinking.
I think I've got what I need now.
Very good, Samuel. I will leave you to it. Have confidence. It is well earned.
I guess I just gotta believe you. All right, Andy, I'll do my best.
I know you will. I will see you after your session.
I think I'm ready, and here comes the man himself. Dr. Drain, good to see you again.
Go and save here in case anything books out. Alright.
Yes, well, I wish I could say the same. I have not had the most productive month. Back on this productive wagon, huh? Last time we were talking about all them should statements. Yes, exactly. And what a waste of time that was. I took what we spoke about to heart, you know, like a fool. But the should statements, as you so tritely put them, were the only thing holding me together. You ignored the addiction problem I came to you with. Nay, worse, you told me it was fine. And oh, how eager I was to test that theory.
I mean, it didn't seem to harm you, but alright.
I have partaken of my awful plasma almost every night. I am more monster than man now.
Labeling?
Compadre, you are a labeling machine tonight. Let's slow down and see if we can talk through what's been happening. Let's start with this monster label. Last time you told me that this plasma of yours just made you let loose a little. That don't sound too monstrous to me. You forget, Sam. We are vampires. When we let loose, all the world suffers. Sounds to me like we could be having a fruitful conversation about moderation. I have a better idea. Seeing as you do not understand the gravity of the situation, I will make you understand. This is the plasma I've spoken of. Pure vampiric essence. I will show you how should statements are the remnants of our humanity. We should not be so quick to cast them away.
Back away thinking?
Dr. Drain is assigning himself quite an imperative. But whence came this imperative, Samuel?
This
Control
is the
house?
plasma.
Dr. Drain is assigning...
This is the plasma I've spoken
Should?
of. I agree with you that should statements are human, but that don't make them universal. That's the point I'm trying to
showed
make.
us
There's
his
lots of ways
drugs.
to live, Doc.
His blood drugs. Oh yeah. If I ever get a therapist, I'll make sure to give them so much alcohol, you know.
That is exactly the problem, Sam. We don't live. And this is the result most dire. Witness the wages of our sin. Now hold on a sec, Doc. I think we better... The time for caution is over. Goodbye, Sam. What in hell?
What are you looking at?
Does it feel good to be alive? And who
It's
are
a
you,
blanket.
darling?
It's a blanket. It has a pattern on it. I thought it would be fitting for the game I'm playing. And I have a little boba drink thing. Which, I'm not actually drinking that. I'm actually drinking a cup of coffee, but I could not find a good coffee thing, so I thought this would look cuter.
I'm Sam. I'm your therapist, Doc. You know that. My therapist! Oh, how wonderful. How absolutely pathetic. A vampire therapist. Oh, what a sad, pathetic waste you are, Dr. Drain. Allow me to introduce myself, then. I am Lord Lyritus, and unlike that sad sack of quivering shit you've been talking to,
So,
I am a vampire.
I'm dealing with a dude that, due to drugs, has, like, a dissociative identity disorder, I think.
I kill, I drink, I fuck, and I'm dead sexy.
Okay, thanks for telling me that. Posture?
I gotta say, you're looking more relaxed, Doc. Because I have nothing to hide, unlike Dr. Drain, little twerp. If not for these restrictive clothes, I'd be rubbing my balls over this soft couch.
Okay. And yes, he did.
Oh, now what'd that couch ever do to you?
That's your response?
Yes, I see it in your eyes. You're afraid, aren't you, American? Your Puritan blood chills at the sight of me.
No, I'm not afraid of you putting your balls on the couch, but I think that's a little weird.
Maybe I'll warm it up before I drain it from you and turn you into a husk with a stupid hat. I wouldn't try it. I'm not you, though, am I? And I am always hungry. I suggest you stay right where you
Put a
are.
gun on the patient.
A vampire with a gun? Oh, how our kind have fallen. What are you going to do, cowboy? Kill me? Nope, but I can make sure the next few months ain't fun for you. Oh, how very kind of you to care about me, darling. It'll be our dear Dr. Drain who suffers. But I need the little worm for now, so I suppose I'll let you live. Mighty kind of you. Now you just settle on down and we're gonna have a chat. Ugh, talking. We are animals. We are not meant for talking. But very well. At least give me something to drink. I can rely on your piteous human blood to do me that kindness, yes?
Yeah, he doesn't mess around.
Alright, but I'm watching you, hombre. Look all you like. The show is free. This is better than the swill I usually prefer. I'm more of a quantity over quality sort of creature. Yeah, I know your kind. I used to be a lot like you. And I suppose now you are just as repressed as the sad creature that exerts control over this luscious body of mine. I'm more free than I've ever been, but don't you worry about me. Let's talk about you. You're going to psychoanalyze me. I live according to my nature. You might as well interview a lion.
Wow, how would you?
Yeah, we'll see about that. I'm sure you are the way you are for a reason. You're not wrong about that. You know the answer already. Dr. Drain needs me. I am what is missing in his unlife. I am his hidden strength. I am his true essence. He is nothing without me, which he already realizes.
I think that's disqualified the positive.
You're forgetting something. A lot of who you are is because of Dr. Drain. You know that fella denies himself a lot, and you do all them things he refrains from.
Hi, Pixie.
Besides, didn't he make that plasma you sprung from? Do you know? You're absolutely correct. Very well. I'll give the little twerp his credit. He did bring me into existence, and what a wonderful existence it is. Were you aware that vampires possess absolutely no gag reflex? I can prove it.
Ugh.
I don't mess with my clients. But I'm not your client. That little rat man in tweed is. Of course he would deny himself the pleasure. You hear him talk about what he should do, but the sad creature cannot do those things. He should give in to me, and thanks to you, he has begun to. Come on now, you're really countering his shoulds with your shoulds? I think that proves there ain't no such thing as a should everyone agrees on. But my shoulds are so much more entertaining. His have only bred him hundreds of years of pathetic existence. Well, that don't make a damn bit of difference. I bet there are vampires a hell of a lot more depraved than you who think you should be doing things differently. Really? Oh, you must introduce me. If there are holes I don't know about, I should very much like to know where they are.
Yeah.
There. How old are you anyway? Dr. Drain's been summoning me for 14 years now. Oh, things are starting to make a lot more sense. You certainly sound like a 14-year-old. The transformation has already begun. I will subsume him. His body and his mind will belong to me completely, and Dr. Drain will cease to be. Yeah, you're awful confident about that, but I got bad news for you. You don't control Dr. Drain, he controls you. Oh, darling, the little doctor controls nothing at all, least of all himself. Make no mistake, he shall be mine. Oh yeah, and how do you know that? I know the little wretch far better than you do. He hasn't changed in centuries. Was he in therapy then? No, only in the modern age do we make do with such delusional exercises. So not everything he does is predictable. I don't think you got a good reason to be so confident. Are you trying to fill my head with doubts? Do you even think that such a thing is possible? There is no such thing as doubt for beings such as we. We live or we die. That's all. And I will live. I notice a funny way you and Dr. Drain talk about each other, as though you're totally different people. You really think that's true? Have you spoken with our pathetic little doctor? You know, he doesn't drink real blood. That's why he's so weak. Hold on, how's he even alive if he's not drinking blood? Oh, the little ball of shame didn't tell you. He's not even a vampire. He drinks that synthetic trash he produces
He's a
instead of real
vegan. Well, that's not that bad.
Seems to me you got a pretty dang narrow definition of what it means to be a vampire. Heck, I don't see you wearing a cape. You sure you ain't just a regular mortal? Don't be a fool. There is a minimum requirement for being a vampire, that's all. And Dr. Drain does not meet it. He's an embarrassment to our kind, and worse, an embarrassment to me. I wouldn't be surprised if he were a 400-year-old virgin. If it weren't for me, his cock would have shriveled up like a raisin.
Wow. How edgy for you to say that.
I think I'm gonna surprise you, Lord, whatever you're calling yourself, but I think you're right. Dr. Drain does need you, but like it or not, you need him too. How very bloody dare you? What possible use could I have for a little turd like him?
Oh.
Little turd? This Lord Lourdes is using quite colorful...
Wait,
How very bloody.
My bad.
Not at all, long as you keep calling him names. You keep thinking of him as being a turd, and that's all he's gonna be. I admit, Dr. Drain might have a thing or two to learn from you, but he ain't gonna learn as long as you keep antagonizing him. Oh, come now, the little worm likes it. He is far better at hating Dr. Drain than I am, and I find him entirely loathsome. Then you ain't giving him room to grow. How would you feel if someone just called you an animal? I am an animal, pure and perfect. I don't care what anyone thinks of me. Vampires ain't animals, not even the worst of us. The moment we learned to talk and reason, living like beasts was out the window. What a strange creature you are. You dress like a buffoon, but speak like a philosopher. The buffoon is the more admirable of the two. At least he's honest.
What's that supposed to mean? It looks like a cowboy.
You and Dr. Drain lie and
That's not bad.
lie and lie to justify your existence. It's ridiculous to suggest that I need him. What could I possibly need him for? When I tire, I sleep. When I lust, I fuck. When I thirst,
Okay.
I kill. As it should be.
Should statements, I think.
There it is again, that simple thinking and them shoulds that are only yours. Come the hell on. You think we vampires should just go on autopilot? Fuck, sleep, kill, repeat? Well, naturally, we should ensure that those things are fun. Otherwise, what's the point in doing them? That's it right there. I agree with you entirely. About time. I'll remove my clothing then. Or perhaps I'll remove yours. Not so fast. You're missing the point. If we're doing these things because they're fun, well, everybody's got their own idea of fun. That's our human experience at work. Like me, for instance. I'm more of a high intimacy kind of lover.
Okay.
Boff. You managed to make even delightful things seem so heinous.
I see that. Thank you for the hearts, whoever's doing that.
I'm only speaking the truth. What makes you so damn sure you know what being a vampire is anyway? Why do you think you've got it all figured out? Lie to yourself all you like, darling. We're all alike. I know what you crave. Oh, that poor mortal had a family. Who gives a damn? I'm thirsty. That poor mortal must consume in order to live, and so must I. He simply pretends not to enjoy it. I don't need to do any such thing. I love to kill. I love the taste of blood. Why would I love it if it weren't the only way to live? Point is, you're gonna get real fucking bored if you don't find a reason to do what you're doing. Do you think I need a purpose? That's a mortal concern. I don't need a fucking legacy. I need blood. The only thing I should do is what I was made to do. You're just as bad as Dr. Drain with all them should statements. He keeps talking about what he shouldn't do, and you keep talking about what you should do. You both act so damn sure of yourselves. You're so damn sure blood is all you need. Oh, did I forget to mention all the fucking? No, but don't worry, you live forever. Food and sex is enough for animals. They got short lives. They get threatened and they die real quick. I know a lot of vampires who live like animals, and every single one of them is lost. Like him or not, Dr. Drain is your reason for living. Hell, if he didn't make this plasma stuff, you'd still be buried deep somewhere in his head.
That is true.
Fuck you. Dr. Drain is a pathetic little liar, and I will destroy him. That's what he wants. Then I'll come for you. If you're gonna kill me, you'd better be a quicker draw than I am. You want to try your luck, compadre? No need. I do thirst, though, and I smell something downstairs. I smell mortals and virgins.
How do you
how
smell that?
delicious. You've been holding out on me, cowboy. You can drink what's in that bottle till Dr. Drain comes back. I ain't letting the likes of you near them people. At least you're aware enough to know that I am a ravenous beast. And beast that I am, I must kill.
You will do no such thing to my mortals. Restrain yourself.
Oh, now who is this beautiful morsel?
I am far older than any blood you have ever tasted, whelp. Do not dare to think you can overpower me.
Don't threaten me with a good time, daddy.
Okay.
I will keep this poor animal contained, Samuel. You did excellent work in handling him. Deserve some rest. I will meet with you later.
If you're sure.
Do not worry. I have no need to hurt him.
Well, now I'm just disappointed. All right, Andy. I'll talk to you later. And Lord Lurid, or whatever your name is, think about what we talked about, huh? Dr. Drain's got something you need.
I'm gonna save here in case the loading screen kills my game.
Oh, Vom, get out of here already. Not you two.
This dude acts like
Tornation.
the edgy OC of a 14-year-old in their head or something. Like an edgy deviant OC. Dr. Drain transformed into Lord Loridus during our session today. That dude has some issues. Loridus hates Dr. Drain and Drain hates him. Loridus loves what Drain rejects, blood and sex. Loridus believes in acting like our animal selves without apology. Where Drain is scientific, Loridus is unscientific. Loridus is extremely confident. But I don't know what you just said. I gotta talk to Dr. Drain about where this Lord Loridus comes from and see if I can't get these two fellas speaking the same language. Okay.
Well, I could use a drink.
If it isn't the Lone Ranger.
Did I save? Yeah. Okay.
Hey, Crimson.
You look a little down, cowboy. Have a shot.
I don't mind if I do.
Rough one tonight.
Well, you could say that. My client went a little feral. Tried to attack me.
That ain't good. I hope you booted their ass out.
Well, here's the thing. He wasn't himself. The fella, he can't stand being a vampire, so the vampire comes out in nasty ways.
Don't put yourself into too much danger, cowboy. Cleaning up a pile of ashes isn't my idea of a good night.
I unfortunately do not know French. I really only know English and a little bit of Japanese. And like tiny bits of Spanish that I picked up from people who I've talked with and live around since I work retail in the US.
So what? He just went and turned into a monster?
More or less. Went from a restrained fella to a hedonist beast.
How do you think you handled it?
Poorly.
Not well. That fella was ready to pounce from the second he showed up. I ain't proud of this, but I pulled my gun on him. Never thought I'd do that to a client.
Don't go giving us Americans a bad name, Tex. I'm not happy about having that thing in my establishment at all.
I know, I got scared. He was threatening your customers, Crimson.
A gun isn't gonna fix that. You keep that thing in your holster, you hear?
Sorry.
Yes, ma'am.
You're better than that. If you're gonna help this guy, you help him like Sam Walls would.
Hi, how are you?
And how's that?
People like talking to you, cowboy. They can't help sharing their lives with you. Whatever it is about you, folks are always going to prefer talking to you over killing you.
I hope so.
I surely do hope you're right.
You know my big secret already. I wouldn't have told it to you if I didn't believe in you.
Well, that's mighty kind of you, Crimson. I'm humbled.
Quit it with the aw shucks stuff. Now you're just trying to be cute.
And making success visit.
Oh, hey, it's my little buddies. How's it going, kids?
Bad.
Dad?
I'm sorry to hear that, Maxie. What's going on?
Make some room, Kinder. I've got customers to serve. Go talk in the kink room.
Would you like to chat in the kink room, Maxie?
Would you like to chat in the kink room, Maxie? Oh, what a such.
I would like that very much.
So what's going on, Maxie?
Is that actually like a thing in nightclubs? Or like goth nightclubs or something? Like just having a random ass kink room in them? For like kink things? Or to just talk with people?
My boss yelled at me today and made me sad.
Well, what happened?
Someone injected a malicious SQL query into our API and used it to execute code. We did not have our queries parameterized, so they were able to drop the user table entirely.
I don't know enough about code to know what that is. Yeah, out of context, and this game's crazy. Yeah, I know.
I warned the backend developers that this would happen, but I got all of the blame.
Man, I really need to get back into learning how to code. I've been kind of sucky off on it ever since I got like super sick.
That sounds like a real mess, Maxie. Reminds me of the time I forgot to lock the gate on a cattle drive. By morning, every last cow was gone, just like your, user table thing. Maybe your boss was hopping mad, but I bet next time they'll listen to you.
Oh, okay. Alright, that makes a little bit more sense. Yeah, right now I've only really been learning like the visual stuff like HTML and CSS, which that's been going pretty well, but I haven't learned anything about that, so at least not yet. Thank you though.
Am I the only one who is now aroused?
Why?
No, Reinhardt, I am also aroused.
Why?
Okay, get on over here and pass me some neck.
Okay.
I feel as though all my worries have been sucked away.
I am well acquainted with this feeling, Hazy.
And you will be once more.
I think that's my cue to get to my coffin.
You scared the American away, Maxie.
I suppose I am a very bad girl.
All right, I'm out. Bedtime for Sam. I'll see you kids later.
Oh my god.
Samuel, greetings.
Okay. Oh, that happened. Oh no, my mic is out of sync. Give me 1 second. I have to fix this. Oh, did it fix itself? I guess it did. Okay.
Oh, hey, Andy.
What is wrong, my friend? You don't seem your chipper American self.
I guess I ain't too happy to be seeing tonight's client. I'm still feeling the tongue lashing she gave me last time.
Ah, yes, the Senora d'Este. She certainly has a way with words.
It ain't that. It's just this sense I get. Like she thinks I can be a certain way just because she tells
You
me
want
to.
my chair? Okay. 1 second. I could just do this. Chair time. Let's go. Unfortunately, I don't have i2D capability for it, but it does look pretty neat, doesn't it? Enough of that.
Aha. At least that makes her core distortion clear, doesn't it? You know what it is, of course.
The chair is still here. I'm just sitting on it. Control fallacies.
That lady's got control fallacies out the wazoo, and they've given her centuries of stress.
I do not know this term, wazoo, but you are correct.
It's still here. I'm just sitting on it.
The woman who chooses immortality so that she can ensure her family makes the correct decisions
Oh, does
probably
it?
has some control issues.
Yeah, it sure has two great personalities with those ears, right? Or is this something else?
And taking out her stress on me.
Do not take her criticisms too much to heart, my friend. You are simply a convenient target, an element within her control.
You know, you could probably buy your own chair. If you're so, like, chair sexual about it.
That still don't make it much fun.
I will not deny that Signora Deste is a confrontational client, but take her presence as a gift, however you can. A woman so powerful in her time has much to teach us. You have all the tools you need at your disposal to help her. Consider your approach.
Disqualify the positive. Labeling. Overgeneralization. And should statements.
All right, I think I'm ready.
I will leave you to meditate then. Be well, Samuel, and let this 3,000-year-old tell you, you are a fantastic therapist.
Thanks.
Oh, gosh, you're gonna make me blush. Get on out of here, boss. I can handle this.
I know you can.
I think I'm ready. And here she comes. A deep breath. Howdy, Senora. Nice to see you again.
Liar. You are as pleased to see me as I am to see you, therapist.
We're gonna get straight into it, huh? All right, lay it on me. Why ain't you happy to see me?
Because you are a worm.
Oh no, I'm a worm. I guess she would not love me if I was a worm, huh?
Yeah, I've been called a lot worse. You're gonna need to be more specific than that, Senora.
You are a worm because of the way you wriggled into my mind the last time we spoke, leaving behind loathsome doubts. The only reason I am here is to confront you for your beastly behavior. I come to you in crisis, and you suggest that I am the cause of my own woe. Aren't you supposed to help me?
Senora, you came in here telling me that Art is dead. How am I supposed to help you with that?
I don't know. But telling me that my existence has been a complete waste of time is not comforting.
I definitely don't remember saying that, Senora. What I said is that you ain't gonna change the world for anyone. But that doesn't mean your work wasn't worth anything. That's what I call...
Control fallacy.
That's what I call a control fallacy. Senora, you're one person. One powerful, intelligent, and talented person. But one out of billions. You can't expect to reach everyone. Doesn't matter how good the art you produce is. It ain't gonna help a
That
fellow
is
like
true.
me who grew up without ever having heard the name Michelangelo.
Michelangelo? Who is Michelangelo?
The guy what painted the Sistine Chapel. Michelangelo.
Yeah, if my chair turned into a worm, I think I would just sit it outside and let it be free and happy and live its worm life.
Michelangelo did no such thing. Perhaps you are thinking of a man from New Jersey, or a turtle. It is Michelangelo.
Senora, you want to talk about wasting time? What's using me as a punching bag doing for you?
Very well. I will speak plainly. I am angry with you, Mr. Walls. Yes, perhaps not all I did was a waste of time, effort, and pain, but to think that much of it was, this is most horrifying.
I don't know what this would be. Oh.
Listen carefully, Samuel. It is not only truth that harms the Senora, but also...
Yes.
Maybe it'd help if we looked at that wording you used. A waste of time, effort, and pain. Even if you didn't achieve your goals in them efforts, you can't just say they were a waste of time. Now, if you were sitting in bed for 400 years watching bad TV, then I might agree with you.
A disgusting notion. I am already dead. I do not need my mind to actively decompose by watching Batflix's latest trash.
So maybe let's reserve waste of time for trash, huh?
I feel like bad TV can be like entertaining sometimes, though. Like watching something in a so bad is a good way. I don't think that's like rotting your brain. I don't know, maybe it is. I don't do that too often, but
I can see why it'd be upsetting to see something you put a lot of effort into not work out.
It is more than upsetting. It is devastating.
Like actually, I heard that a couple of my friends, they watched the new Megamind TV show, and they said that was surely terrible. And like I asked them like, "Oh, was it so bad it's good?" And they're like, "No, it went past the point of it being so bad that it's good to it just being straight bad. No one should ever watch it."
I did not just fail to bring the understanding
that sounds
of
impressive
true
in and of
beauty
itself
into
to me.
the world. I failed to bring it to my own familia. I watched them die, Mr. Walls. It was not the physical death that caused me the greatest pain, but the spiritual death. They had no care for the Gonzaga name nor the Deste name. Despite my sacrifice and all my efforts, they pissed away my legacy.
I don't feel like I got much sleep last night. Coffee? Or, I think it was last year, but I watched the Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey movie. That was maybe like straight trash.
It was maybe like a month ago.
Oh, was it a month ago? Sorry, I guess my roommate is backstating my memory, guys. I generally thought it was like... I barely remember like half of it, so I generally thought I watched it in Halloween last year. Fuck. You went to sleep 7 hours ago? Are you still asleep? Are you sleep talking right now? My roommate is cool. Yeah. He's kind of a nerd though. Like literally when I woke up and was like, you know, getting breakfast and stuff, he was trying to talk to me about how cool the newest Monster Hunter game is when I don't play a whole lot of Monster Hunter. I'm like, yeah, cool. 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 Oh, he's like the chair. He's like the chair? He's like my chair. Okay. I don't know. I personally wouldn't sit on him like I do the chair. I like the chair better.
Ooh boy, sounds like there's a lot to unpack here.
Sorry?
You're good.
I'm confused.
Don't worry about it.
It is a dark and painful story, Mr. Walls. A story where my greatest joy turns to ash, and I was powerless to stop it. When last we met, did I tell you about my son?
No, I don't think so.
Federico. Ah, my dear Federico, my little clown, my delicate
What's a
artist, my
clown?
beautiful boy.
What? Okay.
I suffered for him, Mr. Walls. I put up with my husband, Frankie, and all his brutishness, all his licentiousness. All for Federico. I raised him to be intelligent and clever, to understand the gentle arts and philosophy. I raised him to be a Deste. But for all my efforts, I could not cool his Gonzaga blood. And it persisted for a century, to the ruin of our house.
This sounds like I could control fallacy. You cannot control what your kid is going to do in your life.
I hate to break it to you, Senora, but every kid's got two parents, whether they know them or not. And kids have got minds of their own.
I refuse to believe that we are trapped by our blood. What was my destiny as a girl? Men of my time said it was to be servile and docile. A political pawn. What saved me from that fate? Knowledge, study, an appreciation of art, music, history, and literature. In the same way, I should have been able to save my son.
Should save.
Why do you think you should have been able to save your son?
I was his mother. If I did not save him, who
Okay,
could?
that is a little sad.
I'm not saying someone else could. I'm saying that responsibility to save your son, that you should save him, doesn't line up with the truth.
Like, even if, like, you're a mother that's trying to be overly controlling in what your child's supposed to do, you shouldn't feel like you, I don't know, mentally let your son die or something because he decided to, like, I don't know, be a punk rocker or something.
It ain't some kind of destiny for one person to save another.
Clearly, it was not my destiny to save my son. But my failure did not end with my darling Federico. I was only 153 when the once great Gonzaga house surrendered all its honor to the hated Spanish. I stood by, useless as a statue, as the Gonzaga name burned in the war of the Mantuan succession.
So wait, there's a whole ass war going on and you're supposed to stop it? How's that work?
I gave up my humanity to guide my familia through the ages. If I could not do that, what was the point of becoming undead?
Jesus.
Senor, being a vampire gives us a lot of powers, but it doesn't give us the power to control a single human being, let alone a whole dynasty of them. When the heck have we ever listened to our betters? I ain't no historian, but I know enough to know people are liable to making the same mistakes over and over again.
She sounds like she wanted to be like a cult leader or something for her family.
Humans have got that whole pesky free will thing that makes them do dumb things.
Perhaps you are correct. Stupidity is inevitable. I understand what you are trying to do, Mr. Walls.
What am I trying to do, Senora?
You are trying to tell me that I've been living a lie for more than 400 years.
I ain't doing anything like that, Senora.
Do not fret, peasant. We are in agreement. I have been living a lie. We all have.
Oh god, what mental rabbit hole is she going down?
As I told you last time, I know my own foolishness. But time has not made my mortal concerns fade. In my mind, I know that virtue, love, chastity, wisdom, honor, these kinds of words were created by men to make us supplicant. But, fool that I am, I still love the idea of virtue. I have loved it ever since I was a child.
I think that's okay.
It ain't foolish to have ideals, Senora. Wanting to better ourselves is maybe the thing that makes us human.
Perhaps, but whose better do we strive toward? That I follow the better of old perverts is what makes me foolish.
Senora, people have been following the ideals of old perverts for thousands of years. Why are you a fool?
Do not mistake, Mr. Walls. We are all fools.
Oh, well, that's better then.
Mind your tone. I will tolerate a fool, but not an impertinent one.
Are you okay? Yeah, certainly. I have no idea what cults are either, definitely.
As I was saying, my folly was to fall in love with these ideals as a child. I used to love all the tales of Roman mythology. I saw myself in all the goddesses. I saw my strength and chastity in Diana. In Minerva, my wisdom. In Venus, I saw my timeless beauty and romantic nature.
Romantic nature?
Romantic nature? What a wretched parrot I hear. Do not look at me so. Yes, I was a romantic. Until reality came crashing down upon me.
This hurts me to my core. You're not supposed to compare yourself to the gods. That is how... The reason Arachne became the spider that she is because she compared her tapestries to be better than, or not even better, to be on par than the works of... God, what god was it? Was it Athena? I don't quite remember. And hi! How are you? Either way, whether it be Greek or Roman mythology, you are never supposed to compare yourself to the gods because they would be very angry with that. And generally, hubris is not a good thing. If you have hubris, the universe is going to make you fall. And be humble. And to be humble. And yeah, I mean, a lot of like older pantheons are like that, including like the Roman stuff. That's bad luck, don't say that.
Look at this painting I had commissioned.
What am I looking at? I don't know much about art.
The figures standing upon the arch are Venus and Mars.
Oh,
Mars
naked
is
lady.
portrayed by my idiot husband Frankie. Beside him, I stand.
It's alright,
as
it's
Venus.
fine. We're good.
I'm not sure where I'm supposed to be looking.
You may appreciate my beauty, peasant, but do not let your eyes linger upon my once supple body over long. This is art, not pornography.
Yeah, it's art, not porn. This is art.
But look closer and you will see that even this art is a lie. This is the dream of a foolish girl.
Yeah, I know.
To be enjoined in pure romantic love with a handsome warrior. I believed so hard, Mr. Walls, that I thought I could make it true. But this handsome man is not Frankie. This is Frankie. He is not Mars, but Vulcan.
You literally call your husband disfigured?
Well, he's got some abs. I'll give him that.
And a really tiny penis.
Yes, I did not shy from truth. But see how love's aim goes amiss and strikes his gangrenous penis rather than his heart.
Well, I hope that works out for you. I hope you won't have like too many bad side effects or anything.
See the grapes behind him, for the drunkard is never far from his true love. See how he flails helplessly, as if begging a true warrior to put a sword in his belly.
I'm sensing we've got some work to do around your husband.
Whatever gave you that impression?
Everything. Fucking everything. You should have divorced him.
The man was created solely to crush my view of the world and my place in it. Naturally, I might have some issues around him.
Yeah, therapy is always a good thing. Psychiatry is always a good thing. Usually.
I now believe that Frankie was the truest man I ever met. That is what broke my heart. I maintained the illusion that he was my Mars because that is what I needed. I was not ready to face the truth. Oh, but I knew. Even as a 15-year-old girl, I knew. But I could not accept that I was married to the legendary penetrator of Mantua.
Penetrator of Mantua? Oh yeah, I know. I just... So what are you talking about? If you want to call me a soy Wojak, sure, go for it.
Is it any wonder that I prefer the lie of virtù? Is it any wonder that I still prefer to believe it? The problem is men. You are all weak animals who would give up your dignity for an evening in the company of Lucrezia Borgia.
I think you're overgeneralizing.
Hold your horses there, Senora. I don't even know who the heck Lucrezia Borgia is.
Yeah, sure. You guys couldn't handle seeing me in a Chad form, would you? I have to be soft and pathetic and degraded as this tiny little void bunny entity, huh?
She is the inventor of twerking. All men flock to her, as I'm sure you would. They say she was blonde, but she looked like a redhead to me. You know what they say about redheads. Kissed by Lucifer.
Okay. Okay.
Dang, Senora. Your overgeneralizations are building up and making you see whole groups of folks as awful.
No, I get it.
Now, I know you got your reasons for feeling the way that you do. Real personal ones. But recognize where your experience is making you narrow your thinking.
What even what to name the chair? It could just be Chad.
I mean, Senora, I'll be straight with you, as you're a tough lady.
I mean, yeah. That is true. But psychiatry can be a good thing. They're meant to be a good thing. At least if you have the right diagnoses and stuff. I know, like, before I got diagnosed with BPD, I was being treated for depression, so I got put on a bunch of like SSRIs, like antidepressants. But that didn't help me at all until once I actually got diagnosed. They took me off of that because it's not supposed to help me. So like, that wouldn't help me. Yeah, for sure. I think psychiatry can help, but it's not the only thing that you need. You also need therapy, and like a psychologist, and like a whole team if you have like a mental issue. I mean, yeah, if so you have like bipolar. Bipolar is typically just like a chemistry thing. So having bipolar medication would generally help if you don't have any like underlying trauma or like any other stuff that you are inflicted with.
Here's where I think it's coming from. You're comparing people to gods, including yourself, and everyone's failing that test. Frankie weren't never gonna be Mars. You weren't never gonna be Venus. You weren't born out of no shell.
And you will never be anything but a peasant.
Okay, thanks.
Heck, Senora, I'll be as surprised as anyone if I get invited to a high society dinner.
I mean, psychiatry is very expensive. Because, like, if you don't have the money, the best thing you can do really is just try to do... Okay, definitely don't self-medicate. But, like, if, say, you need, like, therapy or something, and you can't afford that, there's plenty of, online resources that are meant for therapists that you download online and, go through those workbooks like buy a dollar to go through those. That's generally what I've been doing since I cannot afford therapy at the moment.
I can tell I'm hitting a sore spot, but maybe that means that's what we've got to focus on.
I do not like you, Sam Walls. But you are correct. I betray my own purity of spirit with my anger. But I say, why should we not aim to be like the gods? Humanity is not worth preserving when we are such petty creatures.
Should?
The Senora has a rather dim view of humanity in all its imperfection.
Oh, jeez.
But I say, why should we not aim to be like the gods? Humanity is not worth preserving when we are such petty creatures.
Is it labeling?
But I say,
what am I?
But I
okay,
say,
wait just
there.
a minute there, Senora.
All right.
Humanity ain't worth preserving? I say you're wrong. Damn wrong. Look at yourself.
I had no idea what that fallacy was, just because, like, well, I don't think humanity is a bunch of petty creatures. I do believe that, like, oh, aiming to always strive to improve yourself is a good thing, whether it be towards godliness or not.
Look at what you've created. Ain't no goddess has ever done what you've done. You brought some of the finest
Hi,
art ever
roommate.
produced
Why are you
into
giving me
existence.
my cat? Okay. Hi, Mocha. Okay. Hi. Hi, Mocha. I have a cat now. She's in my lap. Okay, let's continue.
You ran your own city, which is something I'm pretty sure Venus never did.
I suppose that is true. Our mortal concerns seem so pedestrian, though.
I never said aim to be perfect. I said to aim to improve yourself. How's the cat doing? She looks confused. But good? She likes being pet by me.
Senora, humanity is all we've got. Even if we're immortal, every word we're speaking is a result of our humanity. Yeah, we make a lot of mistakes, and some of us sound like peasants, but all that messiness is worth something. It makes us who we are. Senora, I don't think you're a goddess. I think you're way more interesting and impressive, because you're real.
Oh.
Well, you have great wisdom for a peasant, Sam. And your kerchief is a fetching shade of red that matches your eyes.
Well, thanks, Senora. Let's focus on you, though. What happens if you're not that perfect goddess?
I suppose I have always felt that if I could not live to my ideals, I would be left with nothing. I would be discarded like Frankie's mistresses and die of some sex disease. Oh, Mr. Walls, I know you speak the truth. I wielded great strength in an age where women were not respected. But I alone feel the weight of my family's collapse, so I feel responsible for it. But I was the only person capable of preserving my family, Sam.
Let's put you down.
That is what makes my failure so poignant.
She almost clawed me. Control fallacy.
Senora, what if you weren't the only person capable of preserving your family? What if no one person was?
I don't know. I never considered such a thing.
Well, try to consider it now. What if you accepted that whatever was going to happen to your family was going to happen?
You sound like a Calvinist.
Never mind with the labeling for now. How would you feel if you knew nobody can control what happened to the Gonzaga house?
I think I would feel relieved.
Senora, whatever happened to your family, fault never belonged to you. You were the one who named yourself responsible. No one else did. Look at who you are. And I think you can be damned impressed at who that lady is.
That's awfully sweet, actually. Oh.
Damn you.
Too late, Senora. Look, let's wrap up tonight, huh? I think you did great. You probably got some stuff to think about.
Yes. Thank you, Sam. I will see you in a month.
Of course, Senora. I'm looking forward to it.
Goodbye, Sam.
Samuel, it appears you have an admirer.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like it's an easy thing to agree with. For sure. I mean, I think what's important, what I like about a person in general is like, and for myself, is I think it's a good thing for someone to strive to improve yourself at something, to at least try, whether or not you succeed. Like, striving to improve your mental health, your physical health, instead of just wallowing in your bedroom crying all day or something. Or like striving to improve your economic situation, or like just anything really. I think it's an admirable trait to be ambitious and self-improvement. I don't think anybody's gonna be perfect. I don't think people should strive for that. But I think it's just generally if you don't try to self-improve, then what is your goals in life, you know? You know, are you really satisfied with being stagnant? I don't know. I'm sure some of my thinking might be flawed in some way. The thought of never, like, not wanting to be a better person for whatever reason is a bit odd to me, I guess. I don't know.
Oh, shucks.
I think Isabella d'Este has liked fewer than 5 people in her hundreds of years of existence, and you are one of them. Remember, though, that romantic entanglements between a therapist and client are absolutely forbidden.
You know, I'm not interested.
Come on now, Andy. I ain't gonna do anything like that.
Of course, should the mind wander into fantasy, that is entirely acceptable.
I'm not gonna think about her like that.
Oh, you're just messing with me now.
I could not help it. It's rather cute. The First Lady of the Renaissance and humble cowboy Samuel Walls. Quite a picture, isn't it?
Okay, that's it. I'm getting a drink.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think moderation is always, like, helpful when it comes to that. It's like, say you're starting a workout routine or something, you gotta have a rest day at some point. Otherwise, you're going to hurt yourself. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that happened to you. Maybe don't eat scented candles.
I'm sorry, Samuel. Please, drink. Ask Crimson for the Royal Virgin. It's my very best. I think you deserve it.
Yeah, whatever. You have a good night, Andy.
Rest in peace, Samuel.
Oh. Alright.
And I thought I had family problems.
Are we good now? Okay. We really got into the Signora's family issues today. And there's lots of them. She's hopping mad that they didn't meet her standards. Isabella died so she could control her family. It didn't work. Her husband and son were both major disappointments to her, especially her son. She really hates the Spanish. Might be a little obsessed with her late husband's failings as a man. But Signora is still holding out a lot of anger, and I think this is just the tip of the iceberg now. Next time I'll see if I can't push a little more. That'd be pretty funny. IMO perfection, making perfection is not impressive. The struggle of being perfect is impressive. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I mean, nobody's perfect. I think struggling to prove yourself, especially in an aspect you're not very good at, it is definitely impressive. I should save. Ah, Jesus. Can you not dad sneeze? Ugh. Okay.
I need me a Crimson Special after that one. Howdy, Crimson. Think you could fashion me up one of them blood cocktails?
What would a blood cocktail even taste like? Ugh.
I reckon so. Got a lot on your mind tonight, cowboy.
Yeah, just thinking about family stuff. I got this client who's got some real tough family issues to go through, and it got me thinking about my own. Or my lack of family, at least.
You got any family left?
I've got a great granddaughter kicking around apparently, but she's got no connection to this old cowpoke.
Great granddaughter. Huh.
Not sure what she'd say if a man dressed like a cowboy introduced himself as her vampire relative from the 1800s.
I see your point. Sounds like you don't have many family problems then.
Blood? Yeah, I guess it would taste like blood. It would taste feral. I never had a full drink a full cup of blood before, so I don't think something like that doesn't sound very appetizing to me.
I reckon so. Family means a lot to my client, though. I hope my perspective's still useful.
Hey, I have a question. If somebody is anemic, would drinking someone else's blood actually help them in any way?
No.
How do you think she's handling her therapy so far?
I mean, it has iron in it. I think pretty well, considering.
I think she's doing pretty well, honestly. She spent a long time judging herself by her family's achievements, but I think she's starting to recognize the fruitlessness in that.
Seems like you don't need her family to be able to give her some hope.
I suppose not. Rich family problems were never going to be my specialty anyway. You got family back home, Crimson?
Yeah, I've got some family. We don't talk too much. I went a little wild after I got my diagnosis.
That's fair.
They're not too fond of my lifestyle choices, but hey, at least I'm alive. And I get to hear them gossiping about how I don't age.
Well, you chose a good age to stop getting older. I often wish I weren't such a dusty old corpse, but death comes when it comes.
If I had to choose what age I could become a mortal vampire, I think I would also choose 30. You know, like a few years from now. I would hope that I would have all my mental issues worked out by then. Just a case, like, if you become an immortal, your mental state does really change past that point. That would be cool.
Sometimes, he's still waiting for me to give him an opening.
Yeah, 30. Not too old, not too young.
Death always is. Pardon me for asking, but is there a reason you're choosing not to be a vampire?
There is, but I'm not talking about it tonight. A little mystery makes life a bit spicier, don't you think, cowboy?
Oh, I wasn't trying to pry or nothing.
Bullshit. I know you're curious. Here, consolation prize.
It feels kind of weird that, like... Sorry. I'm I'm gonna be 30 this decade. It feels kind of weird. It's not gonna be anytime soon, but I'm gonna be 30 in 2028.
But what is it?
Black Widow. Black stuff's just food coloring. Figured you were in the mood for a scary lady tonight.
Thank you kindly, ma'am. Think I'll take this to my coffin for a quiet night.
You do that, honey. And don't spill in Andy's coffin. He'll act like he's not mad, but you know he's mad.
Why should I be upset? What has happened has happened.
Not bad, cowboy. Get the hell out of here.
Okay, I'm going. See you later, Crimson. There we are. Gotta get me one of these fancy coffins for back home. Now, let's see. What am I in the mood for? I think I'm either gonna find a passage from Little Women that suits me, or I'm gonna watch Shemp get smacked in the head with a hot iron.
Oh, I'm so Spy Rabbit. Even when I turn 30, I'm still gonna be like young.
Or I'm going to bed.
I guess read Little Women.
I can always turn to the Outcuts in my times of doubt. Somehow they got above it all and started exploring humanity. Now, where was that line? All right, here in Chapter 8. I am angry nearly every day of my life, Joe, but I have learned not to show it, and I still hope to learn not to feel it, though it may take me another 40 years to do so. Yeah, that sounds like the Senora. Hope she doesn't have to wait too much longer, and that I'm not making it worse.
I've already broken enough people's hearts. I don't want to do that more.
Well, that's enough fun for one day. Good night, son. See you in hell.
Samuel, greetings. I believe you are seeing our actor friend tonight, are you not?
I don't know. I think that, like, if I could choose how I would act like in my 30s, I don't know, a motherly figure without actually being a mom or something. Maybe that's a cool idea. It'll just be a parent to chat, you know. Though I think once I hit that age, I might have to get a new model because I look like my model very much looks younger than 30.
Yeah, I guess so. I still ain't sure I'm the right therapist for that fella.
There may not be a right therapist for him, but let us think positively. He has put himself in your care, and that is a tremendous step.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I guess so. I'm thinking it's gonna be an uphill battle, though.
I mean, if I was an immortal who kept on giving people cars, would that really be a bad thing, like, for free? Yeah, I mean, it's not really a sore topic, it's just like, you know, especially when I was, like, very young 20s, like a little bit before I started streaming and a little bit after I started streaming. I don't know why guys just kept on wanting to bone me. And then they got really upset when I said no.
At least his core distortion is clear, don't you think? You know what it is, I am sure.
And then there was like the whole stalker situation I had like a year after I started streaming, and ugh. I don't know.
It's personalization, right?
Of course, a distortion
Yeah.
common to many with narcissistic tendencies.
Yep, it's the Edmund King show all day, every day.
I am lucky now, though, that I'm surrounded with a group of friends that aren't like that. And after enough excursions like that, you definitely find out if whether people are actually your friends or the people are just being friendly with you just so they can try to get into your pants.
I recognize your disdain, but pause a moment. It must be difficult for Edmund to make everything all about him all the time, don't you think?
He doesn't have to make everything about him, though.
He doesn't know that. Keep digging, Samuel. You will find his truth. Choose your distortions well.
That should work.
I think I'm all holstered up now.
Why did that not show up for me in live chat? There you go. I mean, thing is, I wasn't trying to be a flirt. If I encouraged such behavior, then like, yeah, I could see why, but it wasn't.
Very good, Samuel. I wish you patience and compassion. Good luck.
See you later, Andy. All right, now what did Andy teach me? Breathe. I think I'm ready. Right on time. I think I hear him coming.
And even with you guys, I've definitely toned myself down a bit when it comes to being, like toying around with you guys. But, that's also because my parents know my YouTube channel. So, yeah, I think I'm good. I mean, yeah, fair. I've also kind of been told that.
Hey, Edmund, good to see you. How you been feeling these past few weeks?
Did I save? Maybe. Okay. I don't think my mom watches my stuff all that much. It's mainly my little sister, and sometimes my dad shows up. Sometimes, not very often. Like the first time my family ever tuned into one of my streams, way back when I was on Twitch. I was streaming Nekopara. I'm sure you can imagine how that went.
Empty, my dear boy. Empty. I am but a vessel made for a single purpose. But alas, and alack, that purpose is in supply most rare.
You mean acting, right?
Yeah, it's a big oof.
Aye, that's the rub. Acting, my dear boy. Acting. My thespian blood goes rancid with stagnation, and the only cure seems to me irreprehensible now. I do not wish to face these mortal directors, for they dare to tell me my art.
Yeah, there's definitely been a time where I had a crush on a guy. Like way back when I was like 20, 21 or something, and I wasn't exactly in control of myself. I think he kind of partially pushed me away because of that.
Ain't that what
That's
directors
fine.
are supposed to do?
Oh, my dear boy, some are born great, some achieve greatness, and others have greatness thrust upon them.
We don't really like talk anymore just because we've grown apart in ways that like, you know, I just, some of his opinions on things I really hate, so I just stopped talking about it to him. I stopped talking to him.
No director can thrust greatness upon the already great. In mine own case, mine greatness hath already been achieved.
Well, maybe you can help me understand a little better. You said that greatness was thrust upon you, right? How did that happen?
So, like, I don't know. Of course, like, whenever someone, like, say if somebody really liked me and I wasn't interested and they're going really hog wild about it, I both feel really, of course I'm going to feel uncomfortable by it, but it's also, I have a hard time blaming them because I know how that feels. You know?
Ah, you are curious to hear what circumstances created this actor non pare. I cannot blame you.
Of course, even if when I was head over heels, I never tried to hurt anyone, so.
Well, recounting such a history will please me indeed. I first rattled the foundations of the stage as a mere babe. Indeed, too young for memory, and yet old enough to command attention. Clad only in swaddling cloth at the age of 4, I was Cupid himself. But my arrows seemingly went astray, for the entirety of the audience fell in love with me. It is the stuff of legend.
What the fuck are you
For
talking
tender
about, dude?
as my mind was, I could not bear witness to my own greatness. But it does prove that I was indeed born great.
But you said greatness was thrust upon you.
It was a matter of necessity. You may not guess it from my gentle speech, but I am no lordling.
Oh yeah, for sure. You just kinda had to learn to deal with those regrets, you know?
Selfishly, and surely to spite me, my father shuffled off his mortal coil when I was but a babe in arms, ere I ever graced the stage. It left my mother and myself in dire straits.
I think that's personalization.
Hold on a sec. You said your old man died selfishly. Well, what do you mean?
Well, what kind of a father drinks himself to death when he has a beautiful baby son at home?
Oh, he has trauma. He has daddy
I at
issues.
least
Okay.
waited until my son was older before I did the same.
Eddie, come on. Listen to yourself. I'm sure you didn't die to spite your son, just as your pa didn't die to spite you. I ain't gonna deny his choices hurt you, but they weren't all about you.
Forgive me then. 'Tis ever the fate of an actor to feel every emotion more keenly. The situation my mother and I were left in was most precarious. We were the lowest of the low, you see. We lived in the rookeries and begged for our bread. But he that hath wit must make content with his fortune's fit. And oh, did we beg! She was my Queen Gertrude, and I her filthy little Hamlet. Did I mention I played Hamlet at age 14?
Good for you.
No, I hadn't heard that.
Well, anyway, my mother was a competent actress, but it was my wit alone that saved us from destitution.
I don't know what this would. Control fallacy? Oh.
Edmund is discounting his mother's contribution to. Well,
It sounds like your mother did a lot for you. I'm sure the people loved you, but could you have done it alone?
I suppose my dramaturgical purpose would have been lost without a scene partner, but it was I whom the throngs came to see.
I ain't saying that ain't the case, but you might be disqualifying your mother's contribution to your greatness, right?
I don't see how that is relevant, but I suppose so. Let me continue unabated, sir. Forsooth, I was so prodigious that, at the age of 7, I garnered the attention of one Reginald Flopbot of the Worthington Flopbots.
Flopbot? Okay. Also, is it just me, or like the dude who's voicing Edmund? His voice has some sort of weird filter on it. I don't know, it might just be me. And that's fine. If you need to do something, do something. I'm gonna be here for a little while.
'Twas he who paid to get me off the streets and into the dormitories. He said, "Edmund, my cherub, the streets are not for you. One day you will be the greatest of actors."
Hey, how about that? You went and proved him right.
Piffle. Master Flopbot never gave a fig about my potential. I was a prop to him, a symbol of his generosity and high breeding. Every month he would stage an elaborate party with all the well-to-do society of London. The dandy fop would stand upon a dais and announce himself as the savior of the city's poor. That was my cue. I would be lowered down from the rooftop, wearing naught but swaddling clothes and a set of opulent wings. The gentry's delight was my dungeon. But I would flit among them, reprising my breakout role as Cupid by shooting little arrows of love at them. At the age of 7, it was most disquieting. At 11, on the cusp of manhood, the shame was too much to bear.
Ugh.
Dang, Eddie, that sounds awful. That Flopbot fella had no right to do that to you.
No, indeed. I remember my last performance quite vividly. The titters and leering glances from the guests linger ever in the back of my mind. And fool that I was, I played my part still. I should have plunged mine arrows into that fool Flopbot's chest instead of shaming myself.
You were a fool for playing your part? What choice did you have, Eddie?
It is simple
Don't
logic.
have to murder.
Only a fool plays the fool repeatedly. Many a bottom have I known that never played the Dane, preferring the comfort of a familiar role.
Well, Eddie, it's a little reductive to say that everyone who plays the fool is a bottom. There ain't nothing wrong with letting your partner take the lead.
I don't think that's what he meant.
Oh, ye plebeian! I speak of Nick Bottom, from the Bard's Journey Through Whimsy that is a Midsummer Night's Dream.
Oh, yeah. Even so, though, if you call yourself a fool, you're doing the same kind of typecasting, ain't you?
I suppose so. Regardless, I did not suffer the indignity for long. I swore that night to never be a puppet again. I stole away and gave myself to the mercy of Poseidon. The bargain was struck, and he swallowed up my hated swaddling clothes and wings.
He did what with Poseidon?
In desperation, I signed on with a mercantile shipping agency. I thought perhaps that my body would bend more than my soul. But oh, did I toil! Life upon the sea is most cruel. Biting winds did carve my visage. Low words hardened my heart, and heavy weights left me bent.
Yeah, I see that now.
By the time I had fulfilled my bargain with the Lord of the Sea, I had become an older man, my efforts etched into every crease on my face.
Dang, sounds intense. How long were you at this job?
An age, a life. 6 months, each one a hungry leech torn from my bleeding body.
Okay, that isn't that long.
I am convinced this gauntlet was prepared for me alone. For ne'er in history has one so blessed by grace been subjected to such toil.
Personalization.
Eddie, I gotta stop you there. It's gonna be a lot easier to accept your truth when you realize you ain't alone in your suffering.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, really? That sounds pretty interesting. How was being in the Navy for that long? Yeah, for sure.
Hell, there ain't nothing more human than suffering, and historically, kids ain't had it so good.
Yeah, honestly, I kind of feel the same way that you do.
But none suffered as I suffered. A boy such as I was not meant for such misery.
Compadre, I had my first kill and no home at 12 years old. My brother had a stutter his whole life on account of the regular beatings my stepdaddy gave him. Maybe your suffering felt like the only suffering in the world, but it wasn't. And it'll hurt less when you realize you weren't alone.
Oh, that sounds cool. My father actually lived in Japan, due to like similar reasons back in the 80s. Or like not 80s, but like early 90s, I think. Yeah, I think early 90s.
But keep telling me your story. I already know there ain't nobody like you in the world, so don't worry on that account.
Now then, at last, we close the circle, as nature ever demands. I return to London, and into the graces of my dear Uncle Moses and his comely mistress, Charlotte. 'Twas she who filled my dramaturgical quiver with dire arrows, fletched by the bard himself. And when my deft fingers plucked the bow of humanity, at last I was free.
Huh?
I cannot speak more plainly. The good woman taught me the works of Shakespeare, and armed with this knowledge, I conquered the stage and saved myself from toil.
Oh, well, right.
And so, you see, the die was cast from the moment I was born. The stage was made for me, and it was my skill upon it that saved me from the streets, and saved me once again from a life at sea.
I mean, when he was in Japan back then, he was there because of his mother, who worked for the military. He was a teenager, so his main thing going on back then, if I remember correctly, he was in a band, a rock band in Japan. I don't think it got like super like popular or anything, but he was in the local scene in Okinawa. Also personalization.
Eddie, my man, I got some good news and bad news for you. The truth of the matter is, fate doesn't give a stable full of horseshit about you. Ain't none of us are that special. The world ain't waiting for us to show up. It's just gonna keep turning.
Perhaps you are right, my dear boy. You are correct. My success was not because of the fates, but in spite of them. The fates said, Edmund, you are a child of the slums. But I shamed the immortal hags in my own manner. The stage roused my spirit. Thus I knew my destiny lay upon it.
I can see why acting means so much to you, Eddie. I probably feel damn near the same about the things that got me out of my bad days.
Thank you. Then you understand how my alienation from the theater does pain me so. And yet, the cure is as deadly as the illness. These damnable critics! Not a single lifetime among them, and they deign to challenge my interpretation of the written word.
I mean, yeah. I always thought it was like really cool when I was a little kid and stuff.
They simply cannot relate to my singular experience. I will bear my soul upon that stage, and they will all sneer and malign it on their internet profiles.
And even since I was a little kid, I always wanted to go to like visit Japan because I wanted to see the sights that my father did. And hopefully I'll be able to do that one day. And I don't know. I wasn't able to hear like any of the music that he wrote or made with that band when I was a kid, just because they broke up. The band broke up long before I was alive, just because, like, you know, I was born in America, not Japan. And but from what I've heard him being described, I'm pretty sure the genre that he did was like that his band had was like grunge, I think. I think it was grunge. Because, like, all the stuff that my dad would play on his guitar at the time, and the stuff that he would listen to when I was a little kid was like 90s grunge music. Or, of course, like, early 2000s, new metal, but that was, like, the new whip thing at the time. Yeah, I mean, it would have been cool to hear it, but it's okay. Yeah, he did the bass and backing vocals. I think this is over.
You're so certain that them critics are all the same.
As far as I know, no.
That ain't being honest with yourself.
Maybe. I can always ask him about it at some point.
Not all critics are bad. It takes work to be good at something, so of course the decent critics are gonna be rarer.
What you say rings true. Indeed, although past critics were flabbergasted at my portrayal of King Lear, not all were. And modern perspectives have affirmed that my interpretation was nothing short of brilliant.
Yeah, I don't believe there's any records or anything. I know they played in shows with the original songs, but I don't think they ever recorded anything? Like, went to a recording studio for it?
Yeah, you get it. I took a look at your Wikipedia entry last night, Eddie. Maybe you've had a few bad critics here and there, but history says you're a legend, and your work speaks for itself. Hell, you were around before film was ever a thing, and people still remember you.
Ah, your words warm me, as an heir-sat son for the one we have forsaken. With thy help shall I gird my soul, mayhap, and grace the stage once more.
Well, let's talk about that then. What's the biggest thing stopping you from getting back up on that stage right now?
That it all simply might not be worth it. Why should I bear my damned soul when the audience hath not the sight to see it?
Maybe I can ask you a question then. What if there were no audience?
No audience? Do you know what a stage is, sir? It is a platform where life in brief may be portrayed. It is a platform because it is separate from the audience. Without such, the stage ceases to be a stage.
As in, if a tree falls in the woods and no one's around to hear it, does it make a sound?
Simply but elegantly put, my dear boy. Without the audience, the stage loses all meaning, like a monarch without a kingdom.
I don't think that's true.
Just a minute there, partner. You're saying that the stage is nothing without the audience. But I gotta ask you, where does the acting come from?
Ah, but from simple tongues, the purest of queries, narrow in breadth, but as deep as the sea. The source of acting is everything, my boy. The beating of every heart, the cry of every child, the fluttering of a butterfly's wings. The roots of acting are intertwined with those of life itself.
So does acting come from the audience, or from everything?
My dear boy, you prove yet again, as the bard oft did, that 'tis the fool who sees the truth as it is. I bow to your simple wisdom.
This feels like a backhanded compliment.
Thanks, I guess. Let's figure out how we can bring it back to acting. Forget the audience. I know we can't see in mirrors and all, but what do you think of filming yourself?
Brilliant notion. Yes, I shall become my own audience. I shall bring myself to rapture. Forsooth, if I cannot pleasure myself, whom can I pleasure?
Ugh.
We're still talking about acting, right?
Oh, my dear boy, the pleasures of the flesh are secondary to one who knows character above all else. Indeed, we speak of the noble art. I shall do as you suggest. If there is one on this lonely orb that can inspire an artist such as I, it is myself.
I ain't sure I'd put it exactly that way, but I think you're touching on the thing we've been talking about. The motivation's gotta come from you, amigo.
We are of one mind, dear boy. Perhaps I left my muse in the mortal realm, but I shall find him once more. Not only for myself, but also for my public. Yea, the masses flock to my Wikipedia page as moths to a flame, each a silent plea for the return of the one true artisan of the stage.
I don't know.
Now hold your horses there, fella. You're reading a little too much into the whole Wikipedia thing. There's 1.5 million reasons why people might be looking you up. I mean, I hear tell the biggest Wikipedia page out there is the one for that coronavirus that got all them mortals all worked up. And I'm pretty sure they don't want that coming back.
For the coronavirus.
And thus dost thou scuttle a burgeoning friendship with the cannons of enmity. Why must you challenge me so?
That's my job, compadre. Ain't we had some good breakthroughs today? We couldn't have gotten there if I'd been busy agreeing with everything you said.
Oh, very well. But I still say you are most vexatious.
I've been called worse. I think we got some homework for you, though, right? You're gonna film yourself and do some acting for its own sake. We'll check back in a few weeks. But Eddie, I think you're doing great. We made a lot of progress today.
Naturally. The human condition is my oeuvre. Nevertheless, you have been a competent guide. You have reminded me of what is most important in unlife. Me.
You're welcome.
I should like to give you a gift.
Oh, come on. You don't need to do nothing like that.
Nonsense. It is meaningless to me, but it is beyond price for you. It is my headshot, signed
Hey.
with my autograph.
Oh, thanks, Eddie.
Cherish it always. If you help me to find my muse, then it is a gift even more precious. And I will find it ere we next meet. Of that, I promise you.
I mean, yeah, but I had to choose something, so.
Well, let's not put the pressure
We'll
on,
see.
amigo. Just enjoy some acting. That's all I'm asking for. I'll see you in a few weeks then, okay?
Verily, so it shall be. Godspeed then, boy. Thou shalt witness me new and on. Farewell.
A job well done, Samuel. I was particularly impressed at the way you challenged Edmund on what acting means to him.
I need to turn on my room lights. It's actually starting to get dark already. There.
Yeah, he's a weird fella, but I think he's gonna do okay.
It can be hard for our kind to retain our intrinsic motivation. Something must keep him going. I do hope that he will find his. But you, Samuel, must rest. The work you have done in these past 2 months deserves to be celebrated, so do not linger here in this dusty room. Perhaps you can even be encouraged to dance.
I think I'm gonna need a lot more therapy myself to get to that point.
Very well, Samuel. Then let us at least make sure you get well nourished. Find a friendly neck downstairs, my friend. You deserve it. And rest in peace.
Thanks. This loading screen is still crazy.
Well, they say don't let your babies
Okay.
grow up to be cowboys, but maybe don't let them be actors either.
Edmund tied his own identity to the stage because the stage shaped him from the streets when he was a kid. Obsessed with the audience, disqualifies the positive about any other actors, definitely suffered abuse as a kid, still seeking the same was as he did as a kid, that the stage is always going to offer salvation. I suggested Edmund try acting for its own sake. He forgot the fun while he was looking for safety. I hope it goes well. He's a really old dude.
Time to dish with Crimson a little. I gotta talk to some more folks though. Andy's mainly my teacher, so I'm starting to feel like Crimson's my only friend.
God.
Hey, only friend.
Excuse me?
What? Yeah, Crimson. Hey, Crimson.
Are you blushing, vampire?
No, that ain't possible.
It's all right. It's nice to hear from a vampire who's younger than Jesus. Now, let's hear how this week went before you go out there and find friend number 2.
All right, real quick. This client of mine, he had a real bad time as a kid. Well, worse than I did, it sounds like. But he found fame early, and now he's talking about fate and how he's destined for greatness again.
Met plenty of destined for greatness folk in D.C. I lost patience for it. How do you think you handled him?
I did okay.
I learned my lessons from the last session. He didn't threaten to jump off a cliff this time or anything. I gave him an assignment to film himself doing something he loves doing. He seemed excited about that.
You're either brave or adorable, Sam Walls.
There's nothing brave about it. As for adorable, well, some have used words to that effect before.
Okay, now I know you're confident enough to get out there. Giddy up.
Here we go. Right to the edge of the dance floor, but not on it. Don't want anyone getting any funny ideas.
Once more alone, I
Wow.
see.
You scared the shit out of me.
But you can't shit. You're a vampire.
But you can't shit. You're a vampire.
Know that I see much, vampire, and that I like what I see.
Oh, it's her again. Well, I was hoping to find a mortal friend, or at least a willing Nick. Now, what do mortals of this time talk about?
Yep. Music.
They ever play the classics in here? A little Oh Susanna or Old Folks at Home?
No, they don't. All your favorite songs have been long forgotten now.
Well, what songs do you like?
If I told you, would you know them?
Probably not.
I see.
You see a lot, don't you?
Why don't you tell me what you see?
I see an interesting mortal. Someone observant. Someone who isn't afraid to have their own style.
That is what you observe. It is not what you see.
Well, fine, you tell me what I see.
You see the long vein across my throat. It looks very juicy, doesn't it?
Okay. Alright. Ah, shit. It looks like my lip syncing is it good right now. Mic settings. Reload. Okay. That fixed it. Yeah, she's not.
Well, now that you mention it, it does.
Maybe.
Then consent is given. Do not hesitate, vampire.
Ah, shucks.
Ugh.
That was something else. You got good circulation there.
I see. And what do I taste like?
Kind of earthy. You could use some iron. What do you eat most often?
Okay.
I eat a lot of carrots. They're supposed to be good for one's eyesight, and I like to see.
I see that.
I see now that you are tired and wish to enter your state of torpor.
Well, maybe I'll see myself out then.
That's offensive.
Okay.
I'm going to leave now.
Shoot, was it something I said? Well, at least I got a full belly. And now, time for some shut-eye.
Okay.
Good evening, Samuel. I believe you are seeing the Ancient One tonight, aren't you?
Save. Yeah, I can't.
Ancient One? She's 1,200 years younger than you, Andy.
I suppose I was engaging in a bit of labeling myself. You are, of course, correct. Still, her age presents a unique challenge. After one lives for 1,000 years, history seems less a line than a fixed point. Speaking of which, I imagine you can guess what distortion an old one such as Medi might fixate upon.
It's Nosferatu thinking. Medi's seen so much history that mortals can only be one way or another for her.
You are not incorrect. She does indeed paint the world with a very old, broad brush, but her true distortion is more specific.
Overgeneralization?
It's gotta be overgeneralization. She really is basing all her opinions on her experiences when she was alive.
Very good, Samuel. I heard tales of her island in my time, but they were never peaceful tales. I am not surprised she finds safety in her narrative. What other distortions do you think Medi might exhibit?
Well, black and white thinking. Disqualifying the positive of humans. Humans make her feel scared, which is why they feel evil, and labeling.
Good to go, boss.
Then I will leave you to it. Good luck, my friend.
Hello again, strange cowboy man.
It's good to see you again, Medi. How's the past month been for you?
Went for a walk, just like you suggested. Didn't like it very much.
Oh, well, I'm sorry to hear that. What was so unpleasant about it?
It's very loud outside. And dirty and smelly. Everywhere I walked, it smelled like mortal food, which is disgusting. They knew how good it felt to drink blood. Maybe they would not eat so much of this pizza food. There's so many cars, too. I don't like cars. They have hateful faces. They look so angry all the time. Stepped in a wee, killed 7 men, and got splashed by a bus. It's really quite awful.
You killed 7 men? How the heck did that happen?
Oh, that was inconvenient, you know. Normally I have my zealots do that kind of thing for me. They take care of the bodies. But I had to do all that silly work myself. And now there are always police sirens going off, which interrupts my streams and makes my followers very sad.
Why did that all happen?
Yeah. She's a Twitch streamer.
Because they found the bodies everywhere, silly. I don't know what to do with my rubbish.
I meant, why the killing? You didn't happen to, make a few assumptions based on past experiences? Why kill a bunch of men?
Oh. Well, they looked at me. I know what mortals who look at me are like. If I let them live, they'd probably try to burn me as a witch. I could do nothing but kill them.
Overgeneralization?
Hold on a sec. You know what mortals who look at you are like. How do you know? Are you reading their minds?
I don't have to read their minds, sweetling. I have known manlings for a very long time.
I get what you're saying. But here in this room, at least, we gotta be honest with ourselves. Do you really know what they were thinking?
Silly mouseling. I do not need to know what a wolf is thinking to know what a wolf is.
Does that mean every wolf you see is gonna try to eat you?
We don't have wolves anymore. They're all gone now.
So maybe you can see where that kind of thinking can be a problem. It was scared people who killed all them wolves, right?
Yes, but the way she does it is safe. Because they're not actually, seeing her IRL. They're seeing her through a screen. That's the difference.
Now I know that thinking doesn't come from nowhere. Old as you are, I'm sure you've seen some real awful stuff.
That's right. Haven't killed you, though. You are kind, little mouse.
Well, let's lay off the mouse stuff a little.
I'm sorry. Don't wish for you to scurry away into a little hole. Do you want to hear why I feel the way I do?
I would appreciate it greatly, miss.
Let me tell you about men from my time, then. Let's start with me da. My father sold me and my mother to a chief of a rival clan for a golden necklace.
That is just horrifying.
Oh, don't fuss, sweetling. It was the most beautiful golden necklace. At least 2 girls' worth. My father got quite a deal, really.
You're using humor, but I'm sure that must have been heartbreaking for you.
It was common at the time. I suppose I should have been glad to be the possession of an old chief. I knew girls who did as they were told. They would have been thrilled to have been the concubine of a powerful chief.
Ugh.
But, oh, he was so old.
Ugh.
Cormac O'Neill, the oldest man I had ever seen. I remember thinking, where is his face? Because I could not see it under
Oh, this is disgusting.
disgusting wrinkles.
This is disgusting.
How old was the guy?
38.
Okay, 38 isn't that bad, but...
That was pretty old in your time, huh? Wish I died at 38. Could have been a better looking corpse.
Well, he left an awful looking corpse. His face was all...
Ugh.
I'm guessing you had something to do with that, huh?
Not me. My boyfriend, Abertach. He told me he'd set me free. I suppose he did. He created a delightful poison for me. He said it would make my dear master die in excruciating pain. So, one night I lay with him, and that means I did sex, and when he was pleased, I fed him the poison mead. Abby did what I couldn't, and the old fool finally died.
I don't know what this is.
You're saying your boyfriend
Sure.
killed your husband, but it sounds to me like you did the real work. He mixed up some herbs, sure, but you were the one that had to sleep with the old man and get the poison in him.
Abby made sure I knew it was because of him that I was free. He said it could never have happened without him.
He didn't have to be brave to mix up a potion. I think the bravery was all you, Mitty. Don't disqualify the idea that the person who set you free was you.
You know, I think you're absolutely right, strange cowboy man. I did do all the work, but Abby never let me forget that he was the one who freed me. He wanted me to worship him.
A fella who demands to be worshipped is always going to be a dangerous man.
That is true.
Dangerous men have always been drawn to me. Must be something about the way I am.
So what happened after you killed Cormac?
The Neil clan came after me and Abby. They found him, took their swords and went, stab, stab, stabby, stabby, stab, stab, stab. But Abby just laughed. That's how I found out he was undead already. Gave me the willies. When they couldn't kill Abby, they decided to kill me instead. And that made him very upset indeed, because I belonged to him.
That must have been terrifying.
I suppose. Mostly hurt. Lots and lots. Getting stabbed is much fun when you're immortal.
I can imagine that.
I ain't too fond of it as a vampire neither.
Abby fed me his blood, though, and then I became like him. When I woke up, the Neil clan who tried to kill us were all properly dead. Well, almost dead. They still had a lot of blood left, and I was hungry. The Neil clan was ever so cross, though. They captured Abby and sealed him in a tomb with some forgotten spells. He's still there, as far as I know.
What happened to you?
I didn't have a future with my tribe. I insulted both my clan and Cormac's clan by killing their chief. My only choice was to be alone. That's the wisest choice.
I don't know what this... No.
Betty seems to think in extremes, not uncommon for one as
Okay,
ancient.
black and
I
white thinking.
didn't have a future.
That kind of all or nothing thinking could get us in trouble. If we think all is lost, we're liable to do things we wouldn't normally do. I know I did some stuff I regretted in them moments, and I sure wish I'd taken a breath and stepped back in all them times.
You sound so sad when you say that, funny cowboy man.
I'm all right. I'm just saying, you're a capable lady. You've always got more options than you think in a bad moment.
Oh, but you're just a child. I don't want you to be sad.
Well, let's focus on you, huh? You say you've been living alone ever since then?
Of course, my silly cowboy man. We aren't mortal anymore. We will always end up alone. Why waste my time?
This one? No.
Again, Medi deals in extremes.
Okay.
Of course.
Wait,
Come on, Medi. You're distorting a lot of reality there. All vampires ain't lonely. Some of us choose to be, but not all of us. Sure, mortals have a habit of dying, but there will always be more of them. Not to mention all the vampires out there. Heck, I used to be in a vampire gang. Cult. Well, kind of both. They weren't good company, but they certainly weren't lonely. I mean, ain't we talking? Well, there's loads of vampires out there who think like you do, and they're fulfilling their own prophecies of loneliness.
You're being a mean little mouse now, and
Are
I
you being
don't like
mean?
it very much. Maybe I should have killed you after all.
I'm trying to help you, Medi. The world's changed a lot in the last 1800 years. A lot of it bad, but a lot of it good too. By and large, most people ain't burning witches and selling their daughters. That sort of thing's frowned upon by mortals these days. There are laws out there to protect folks now. It ain't like in old times.
May I tell you a story, little mouse?
All right, tell me a story.
Once upon a time, there was a very pretty young lady. Pretty, but also crazy. Like me.
Labeling?
I don't mean to interrupt your story so soon, but you didn't think I was gonna let you get away with that one, did you? Don't call yourself crazy. You've been around way longer than I have. You gotta know that sanity is relative.
I know I'm crazy, though. Everyone tells me so, even my zealots. They like that I'm crazy.
They like that. Okay. Alright.
You know, crazy ain't supposed to be a nice word. So why are you using it? Why are you creating a reality where what you are is crazy?
You are an annoying little mouse sometimes. Very well. I won't call myself crazy in front of you.
It's a start.
May I continue my story now? The pretty young lady Mary had moved in with her cousin, Mrs. Hultridge. At first they got along quite well, but one day Mary started acting naughty. She would shout, act unladylike, and even say that Jesus Christ wasn't very special.
Yeah, I kinda get it.
Mrs. Hultridge liked Jesus Christ very much and wanted Mary to like him too. When she didn't, this embarrassed Mrs. Hultridge. She began to think something was wrong with Mary. After all, who didn't like Jesus Christ? Mrs. Hultridge said that Mary had begun to vomit up pins and buttons, nails, glass, and bits of wool. Instead of being grateful for the free gifts Mary was vomiting up, Mrs. Hultridge said that she had been attacked by 8 witches in spectral form. Now, it just so happened that all 8 of those witches lived very close to the town where Mrs. Hultridge lived. Despite their magical prowess, the 8 witches were captured and put into the stocks, and all the people of the town were told that the women did not like Jesus Christ at all. So the Jesus Christ-liking people threw rotten vegetables and poo at the witches. And, just for fun, they gouged out the eye of one of them. Then they kicked the witches out of town and lived happily ever after. The end.
Well, that ain't a pleasant story.
Oh, it was very unpleasant. It hurts very much to have your eye taken away, but I like my new eye. It's fun. I was 1500 summers old or so when that happened.
Okay.
The world hadn't changed much then. I don't think it's changed much now.
I'm sorry that happened to you, Medi. You're right. Folk can be pretty awful when they get riled up. That ain't changed.
I mean, I feel like people are a little bit more tolerant of witches or the like or whatever now, but at least in my country, but alright.
Oh, don't be sorry, little mouse. I like my new eye. Also, the story has a happy ending.
Oh yeah? What's that?
After I had my eye taken away, I took Mrs. Haltridge's parts away too, one by one until she died. It was so much fun.
That's a little morbid, Mitty.
Morbid Mary? Oh, I like that. That's very clever, little mouse. But you see why I'm careful now?
Yeah, I get it. But look, there's one thing that's different now, and that's...
No. No. Let's just say what we're doing right now.
It's what we're doing right now. In all that time up till now, therapy ain't never existed. We only just started looking at ourselves and the way we think. Before recent times, we only looked at gods, government, and society. The self is a new frontier, and we're learning stuff we never considered before. The frontier can be kind of scary, but being on that frontier means moving forward. Come with me.
Silly mouse. If something feels scary, that means that there must be something to be scared of.
I think that's emotional reasoning.
Now hold your horses there. Yeah, it might be true that sensing something scary means there's actually something scary out there. But that don't make it necessarily so. If fear keeps us from exploring, we can't experience new things, good or bad.
I suppose that's true. But good things are temporary. Bad things can last forever. Would you like to hold my eye?
Yeah.
Oh, that's all right. You keep it. I get what you're saying, Meddy. I ain't saying not to be careful. Just acknowledge that a feeling doesn't make reality. I know you've been through a lot and you got damn good reasons for being careful. But there's a reason you came to me, right?
Yes, but it wasn't because I wanted to go outside. It's because of my fans. They're very demanding.
Right. That's why we were talking about your going for walks and went down this rabbit hole.
Or, in your case, a mouse hole.
Anyway, therapy usually ain't about just one thing. It's about lots of things. If the problem is your fans, we gotta imagine unlife without them, right?
Don't want to lose them all. Some of them are gentle. They're too weak to hurt anyone, which is why they don't.
You really think weak people would hurt others if they were stronger?
Little mouse, I've been alive for a long time. I believe what my eye shows me. Yes, if one is capable of hurting another, they do.
They can, but they don't always. You ever seen them capybara animals? They're dang massive rodents and could do some damage if they wanted to, I reckon.
Oh, yes! Oh, they're very cute. People like to share animated pictures of them in my community.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just taking it as it goes.
Some folk are like that. They just want to sit around and have someone scratch their bellies.
Is that what you want, little mouse? Do you want me to scratch your belly?
What? No, I'm just saying, don't assume everyone's out to hurt someone. Yeah, it happens. Of course it does. But that kind of thinking ain't giving folks their fair shot.
Don't know what I'll do if I don't have my followers. I can't live the way I used to before the machines took over. Oh, they expect so much of me now. They send me messages all night and all day. They need content. God, if I don't give them their content, they'll all leave. Their attention spans are like those of little bugs, but they're not as cute.
Black and white thinking?
Okay, I think we need to talk about moderation.
Oh, I already have moderators, silly mouse. Any major content creator has to have.
I don't know what that stuff means. I'm talking about moderation in your thinking. What if you gave your fans only what you felt comfortable giving?
Doesn't matter what I want, silly mouse. They just want me to overreact to video games.
I don't know what this is.
I Again, Medi seems to view her followers as
Doesn't matter what I want, silly.
Medi, you're thinking that mortals want only one type of content is forcing you to make only one type of content. Your assumptions are keeping you from doing things you like, and you deserve to do things you
right.
actually
It's a
enjoy.
generalization.
You're very kind. I thought cowboys were supposed to be tough.
Who says I ain't? I just don't have nothing to prove no more. Here, why don't we try something new for next time, since going out didn't go so well last time. I want to challenge you to take a day off. Don't answer any messages, don't post no content. Just do something for you and you alone. Take a sick day.
But we never get sick. We're dead people.
They don't know that, do they? One day. That's all I'm asking for. You need to give yourself a little space.
Very well. Since you've been a very kind mouse, I'll do it for you.
I'd prefer it if you did it for you, but we'll work toward that, huh?
Oh, I wish I had a big piece of cheese to give to you right now.
A lactose intolerance is kind of a side effect of death, but I appreciate the sentiment. I'll see you in a month then, okay?
Yes.
Great. I'll see you then.
Bye.
You are doing
Hold
well,
on.
my friend. I know we old ones can be rather inscrutable sometimes.
She's human. We all are, ain't we? The way I see it, we all got the same problems one way or another.
I wonder if one day I'll have that sort of problem. Where like streaming becomes my full-time job and then I feel like I can't take days off. Because I'll be wrapping up the amount of time, how often I do streams and whatnot. I don't know.
Your wisdom never fails to impress, Samuel. I believe it is time for you to follow your own advice to Miss Medi, however. All work and no play makes for a dull vampire, as they say.
Yeah, you're probably right. I might hit the hay early and do a bit of reading.
If you must take out some aggression on Hay, then please do so. I shall see you soon, my friend.
Good night, Andy.
I mean, I feel some sympathy towards her. I hope I'll be able to get her to the point where she's not afraid of going outside or disappointing her fans or whatever.
Humanity when I'm 1800. Heck, I wonder whether there'll even be a planet.
Betty's got really good reasons for not being fond of mortals, but it might be narrowing her worldview. Real bad history was sold to a rival warlord and killed by a wizard. I guess wizards are real now? Abandoned by her clan after she killed her new husband and became a vampire. Was pilloried as a witch in the 1700s and had her eye removed. She thinks it's pretty funny. Sounds disgusted by her followers. I'll try to encourage Benny to do some more things she likes for their own sake and get outside more. You know, I feel like it's not that hard to cultivate a fan base that you don't feel disgusted by, but are. Well, people can be surprisingly steady, although that also depends on whether or not you're replaceable to them or not. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I stream and do content for my own sake. I don't really do anything to please you guys. I just happen to do things that please you guys. I think it should always be a hobby first and foremost, otherwise you're gonna burn out and like not want to do it anymore. Or like even Iron Mouse, who streams like literally every day or something. She does it because she finds it to be fun and she wants to be able to talk to people. That's her motivation, not to... This is not her motivation to get like money or something. I'm sure. As I said, if I somehow am able in the future to make this be my primary income or something, then of course I'm going to stream more, because then I'll have more time, but I don't think I would ever like force myself to do anything. For sure. If I really needed to weed some people out, I would start probably voicing my political views, like, really hardcore for, like, 1 day out of the month, and I'll get rid of some of them.
I guess it's time to drown my existential woes in blood. Howdy there, Crimson.
Oh, did I save? No. There you go.
You're sounding a little weary there, cowboy. You getting enough to drink these nights?
Oh yeah, that ain't it. Just existential ponderings.
That's just my specialty. What's eating you, buckaroo?
Like, I don't know, if I feel like I wouldn't have really any qualms about, like, I don't know, if there was a viewer that I found was, like, you know, trying to stalk me or, you know, just being creepy towards me, I would have no qualms about, like, you know, blocking them and shit.
It's this old client I got. She's been watching humanity hurting itself for 1,800 years.
Like, the only thing that I feel like I guess I feel pressured to do as a streamer is, of course, when I, like, say last night, you know, something came up, even though I said I would stream last night, and then I felt a little guilty saying, like, hey, I can't stream, I'll do it tomorrow. And hey, you guys are here, I really appreciate that. And I do feel guilty over, like, not keeping to my word. That's the type of thing that, like, I feel pressure over, but I think that's a good thing. Like, that type of pressure is a good thing, to, like, you know, keep to your word. That's why I don't do schedules, you know? Things tend to just come up.
Every time she expected better, she got hurt. She ain't wrong to mistrust mortals.
So my hours at work at my job is going to start dropping starting next week. So I'll have more time to stream at least. As long as I'm not preoccupied with something else, because, like, the people I live with or, like, friends, you know, stuff happens.
That's a tough one. What do you do with someone like that?
Well, I tried to guide her to look inward like I do with everyone. People are people, but so is she.
I'm hoping to work up to streaming 2 times a week instead of just once a week.
How do you think she took it?
Pretty well.
I think she appreciated the focus on her. I can't answer for all humanity, but maybe she can get answers from herself.
I think you could stand to listen to yourself, Ranchero. You could have been a mean old Dracula, and nobody would expect anything different from you.
There's also the thing of, like, I don't know when I was streaming, like, if I do work up, like, a consistent 2 days a week, I guess the second one could be, like, ASMR streams or something, like me doing the reading stuff. I need to actually get some, like, good books, good copyright-free books, like, oh, maybe I could read something for, like, the Iliad or, like, the Prose Eddas or something, like mythology type stuff. That could be fun.
Reckon there have always been people like you, no matter how bad it's been in history.
Dang, Crimson. I can see why Andy respects you so much. You done some living, sounds like.
Death at the door can put things into perspective. I get where your client is coming from.
Now, I'm going to want a physical copy of a book. And we're going to do that because I think page turning, book shuffling, book sounds would sound pretty nice.
Changing the world isn't going to happen, but we can at least change ourselves.
I don't think that's true. The country I left definitely ain't the country I was born in.
I mean, as much as I would like to, I can't really call it Cthulhu because it's pretty damn racist. I don't want that sort of, like, I don't want to platform that sort of content. Huh. I could do, like, I need to check if, oh shit, my lip syncing's out of sync again. I need to check if the King in Yellow is good to read. There. Because I haven't read that fully, but I heard it's a really good read. And I could try to, you know, make a reading of that on my YouTube channel.
The wheels turn a little slowly for us mortals, cowboy.
And I need more reasons to use my new fancy ASMR mic that somebody spent like so much money on.
Back in DC, I was trying to push policy to do something about our poverty problem, but the kind gentlemen across the street were pretty happy to make things worse. When I got my cancer diagnosis, that was my wake-up call to stop getting disappointed and start living with the little amount of time I had left.
Working at a bar is more rewarding than being a member of the bar, huh?
Not bad, cowboy. It's got its charms. Here, I whipped up something special for you.
That ain't half bad. Got a refreshing taste.
Rose hips. Just a little something extra. Been experimenting with some herbals for Andy.
Guess old dogs like us can still learn new tricks. Thanks, Crimson. I think I'll hit the hay now.
You hit that hay, Desperado. I'll see you later.
Got a lot on my mind tonight. I think I need some rest. Now, what should I do to relax?
What? Now, let's
I
read some
always
books.
pick up a little extra perspective from Ralphie Waldo. Emerson, that is. Let's see if I can find a good passage.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely gotta eat those ears. I'd like to keep my my mic clean. I don't think I'll be literally licking those anytime soon.
Bingo. In the woods is perpetual youth. Within these plantations of God, a decorum and sanctity reign. A perennial festival is dressed, and the guest sees not how he should tire of them in 1,000 years.
It's also like, I still need to get a stand as well for my ASMR mic, because otherwise, y'all are gonna have to be sitting on my thighs while I read the book.
In the woods, we return to reason and faith. There I feel that nothing can befall me. No disgrace, no calamity, leaving me my eyes, which nature cannot repair. In the wilderness I find something more dear and connate than in streets or villages. In the tranquil landscape, and especially in the distant line of the horizon, man beholds somewhat as beautiful as his own nature.
Not good.
Ain't that the truth? Future's always ahead, no matter how old we get. That's enough for one night. Time to visit Dreamland. Maybe I'll see my princess there.
Samuel, my dear, I do look forward to our chats. How are you feeling tonight?
Why is disqualifying the positive here?
I gotta confess, boss, I'm a little down. I love helping other vampires, but getting therapy myself sometimes ain't much fun.
I understand. Looking in the mirror is difficult for any human, much more so when they don't cast a reflection.
You ain't kidding. It just seems like there's always work to do, you know? Like my walking in the woods for 90 years wasn't nearly enough time.
I dare say you are correct. I believe that we must never cease our walking in the woods. There is no mystery deeper than that of our own existence.
Where do vampires come from anyway?
Well, Samuel, when two vampires love each other very much...
Come on, boss, that's not what I'm asking. Where do we come from?
Oh yeah, right, definitely.
The answer to that is much older than recorded history, my friend. But let us focus on you. We should start with some meditation and determine what thoughts are most important to you right now. Close your eyes and envision your place of comfort.
I ain't good at being a therapist. Is my hat weird? Ich bin Sam. Ich bin ein cool man. Election looks real bad back home. Dr. Drain thinks I'm brain damaged. Why'd my mama have to marry that asshole?
Oh, daddy
When's
issues?
the sunrise? The Senora hates my guts. Sure wish you were still here, Jeb. Actors need help, that's for dang sure. Wish I had more book smarts. Bet he scares the heck out of me. You're an idiot, Sam, hurting all them folk. Why'd I join up with a gang in the first place?
How are you feeling now?
I'm way more centered now. I think I was actually afraid of therapy today.
Why is that, my friend? What thoughts came up?
Well, after last time, I think I was stewing a bit. Just being real angry at myself for joining that nasty cult in the first place.
They preyed on the vulnerable, as cults tend to do. If you had been a man of means with a robust support system, I doubt they would have noticed you.
It's okay. It happens. You gotta remember, when I have a female model and I have a feminine voice, it's going to happen. Now, would it be cool if I had like an androgynous model? Maybe. But this is really cute too.
Yeah, I know. And honestly, I'm mad about that too. I mean, my country did me real wrong and put me in that sorry state to begin with.
This sounds like a proverbial can of worms.
Yeah, you could definitely say that. After we talked last time, I kept thinking, what could I have done differently? And the answer amounts to horse shit. All that lawbreaking I did, all that murdering and stealing and doing no good, that was my country failing me.
Let us slow down, Samuel. You are making a bit of a logical leap. I have great admiration and empathy for you, my friend, but it is disrespectful to those you hurt to blame anyone but yourself.
I don't know. Like, I definitely have like a character like design in mind for like when I eventually commission my own like custom made model. And I have ideas. I definitely have ideas.
I mean, I guess I could have died. I suppose that would have been kinder. But that's a lot to ask a boy to do.
Either way, it's still gonna look somewhat feminine, I think.
I am not suggesting that you should have died, and I do not suggest that your country was without fault. However, your country had its role, and you had yours. You are using a cognitive distortion called blaming. When we engage in blaming, we ignore or wipe away our own faults, attributing them to someone or something else.
Okay.
Our faults are precious, Samuel. We cannot be ourselves without them. Do not wipe them away.
Yeah, ideas are definitely good.
I mean, I just wish things hadn't been the way they were. If my country had taken a better trail, maybe I would have turned out different.
Because, like, you know, if my character, like, concept is supposed to be, like, eldritch buddy deity person, of course you gotta have the buddy ears, right? But you also gotta have, like, tiny little instances of, like, body horror. And also tentacles. Tentacles are good. You gotta, like... I want both a cute bunny person and eldritch monstrosity. And I think I really need to work with a good character designer to help me bring that vision into life. Because, like, I feel like it would be really hard to achieve both. Because the only time I've ever seen a good VTuber concept that has both weird body horror and stuff and cute anime girl is Juniper, the like moth bug lady. She has a really good design, but it's also slightly terrifying the more you think about it. And I want to achieve something as good as that.
Differently. I am sorry to interrupt, but Senora Deste might correct you less gently. Now then, perhaps it would help to put blaming into perspective. It is always humbling to see ourselves in the mirrors of our minds, is it not? Let's try some examples. See if you can tell when I am blaming. I turned into a bat the other day and flew right into a tree. Who put that tree there?
Blaming someone else or the tree for you being clumsy, that ain't gonna do anyone much good. I smacked into my fair share of trees back when I was a youngster, but that was definitely my fault.
Of course. There is no shame in being a novice flyer as a young vampire, but we can be insecure creatures. That's our humanity at work. I was unable to perform in bed with Crimson the other night. It must have been her fault.
Dang, that is some blaming. Takes two to tango, boss. Maybe there's some bad blood brewing between you two, and I wish I hadn't heard about it.
Do not worry, my friend. Crimson and I bring each other great satisfaction.
Good to know.
All right, I get it.
I said nothing lurid, Samuel. Why are you so distressed?
Well, singing great satisfaction. It's like hearing your parents talking about their sex lives. I mean, not that you're... I mean, I'll forget I said anything.
Yeah, as I said, I have some ideas. It's... I think it could definitely be pulled off well. I just need to... I think I probably need some help. Because the closest I ever got into that is designing my my favorite D&D character, Miss Ivory, and she turned into a... Before she died, she turned into quite an interesting character. Of course, she had like the weird fucking eyes, but she ends up having goat horns. She had like weird bug things in her lungs. And I was planning at some point for her to have this weird like chitin belt thing around her waist that is attached to her via the skin that would allow her at any time protrude giant spider legs out of her waist so that way she could climb on walls in the ceiling. My visual processing works much better for math and aesthetics design. I would say I'm the other way around. I'm horrible with math outside of what I need to do for my job, but I love crazy body horror shit when it comes to design and aesthetics. I just need to be able to bridge the gap between cute / like attractive and terrifying.
All right, Samuel, let us move on.
Like, it would be amazing to be able to, you know, be a horrifying monster, but to be able to have that character design, be able to, you know, be terrifying, but then some people say like, oh, that's hot. Oh yeah, it definitely was. But she didn't look like that all the time. She like most of the time she just looked like a weird looking witch girl with weird spider web designs in her eyes and goat horns. And also her skin color was very, very pale like a corpse towards the end of that.
The interface on this widely used new vampire dating app is so modern. How do they expect anyone to use this cursed thing? We are trying to identify only the blaming distortions. The interface on this widely used new
Come on now, boss. Not every app out there is designed too good, but we can't expect machines to run themselves. Well, that's some blaming right there.
You are correct, Samuel. It was only hypothetical, of course. I do endeavor to keep up with the times. By the way, thank you again for teaching me Control-V and Control-C the other night. What a delightful trick.
Oh yeah, way faster than going through the edit menu all the time.
You youngsters always find the latest tricks. Let's keep going, though.
Again, I myself, for my VTuber design, I still don't want to make a design that is unpleasant to look at. I want both attractive and terrifying.
Did you see the football game the other night? My preferred team played with great skill and should have won. The referee was clearly an agent of the Dark Lord.
So, I guess, maybe... to be fair though, I am a monster kisser. A monster dater. So I would be biased. I would be designing for my own taste. Oh yeah, oh wait.
Now hold on, Andy. I think I saw the game you're talking about, and you're just blaming the ref for your team's mistakes. You got a great tight end, but one that plays a little dirty.
Excuse me?
I didn't mean it like that. Oh heck, I can't talk right today.
It's quite all right. Isn't getting dirty the point of play?
Oh yeah, there is nothing wrong with that. I just think, I don't know. What my taste might be could be someone else's displeasure.
It is the fault of the cursed sun that we must live in darkness. We are trying to identify only the... It is the fault of the
Am I only
cursed sun
gonna...
that
Okay.
we must live in darkness.
How is this blaming?
Well, the sun can't help being the sun, so don't go blaming it. The way I see it, we got our place. That ain't nobody's fault.
Well done, Samuel. Perhaps the sun is even more brilliant in our memories, and seeing the real thing would spoil it.
It's like, as I said, I use Juniper as an example. Her design, I think a lot of people would find kind of gross, since it's bug lady, but I think is very nice looking.
Well, that's one way of thinking about it. I think I get it. I ain't trying to erase what I did. I'm just bitter that I felt like I had no choice at all. And it all goes back to the United States taking my daddy away for their manifest destiny. I'm mad at him too. Dying for his country. What kind of nonsense is that? How'd his country pay him back? By making my poor ma marry a drunk who beat the daylights out of her and his kids? Ain't no damn wonder I turned out the way I did.
That must have been devastating, Samuel.
Oh,
Countries
man.
are not human. They cannot feel. And stories such as yours prove it.
I mean, what the hell, Andy? My daddy's corpse didn't give a shit about no United States of America. It's kind of funny when you think about it. He died fighting the British so the U.S. could say they own Missouri. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah, exactly. You get it.
I'm telling you, Andy, the best thing about being dead is realizing how little that nationalism crap matters.
Desire for identity can create monsters worse than we. What happened after your father died?
Well, we didn't have nothing. The money was running out, so my ma got married to a hard man who drank even harder. He beat up my older brother, Jeb, for fun. And once Jeb started fighting back, dear old stepdad came for me. And that's when my brother killed him.
It sounds like a tragedy from my own country's mythology. I am sorry that such a thing happened to you, Samuel. Your brother was brave.
Oh, that sounds traumatizing.
No kidding. We went on the run together, but he was the one who kept us alive and fed, mostly through stealing and begging. Once we stopped being cute, begging didn't work anymore, so we moved up to robbing and killing. Killed my first man at 12, and then it got a little too easy.
That is young. I cannot imagine how difficult that must have been, Samuel. My country asked me to kill at 20, and I still remember how devastating it felt.
Yeah, well, nobody told me to do it. Like you said, that was all me. I don't think anyone was surprised either. When my brother and I rode into a town, you should have seen the way people looked at us. They knew we were trouble, and we were determined as hell to prove them right.
A moment, Samuel. I believe this is an opportunity for some growth.
It's them distortions again, huh?
To err is human, as they say. Do not be discouraged. There is something in what you just said that you cannot be sure of. Can you tell me what it is?
The people knew we were trouble?
I guess there ain't no way of knowing that people thought we were trouble.
That's right, Samuel. There is one way of knowing exactly what they were thinking, and that would be to read their minds. Thus is the cognitive distortion called mind reading. Yes, you can weigh evidence and make predictions, but never with complete certainty.
Mind reading. I know very much about that. That's the one that I also had a lot of trouble dealing with. I don't think anymore, but in the past, definitely. I remember my first therapist talking to me about that one.
I was a dirty little thieving murderer. I don't blame him for judging me.
First, that's labeling. Second, one of those people might have been patient and gentle. One that had an experience like yours. You cannot know. With your mind reading, do you see how you made everyone your enemy?
Yeah. You're right. You're damn right.
No one expects a child to be perfectly aware of themselves and the world, Samuel. Remember, start with compassion for yourself. Here, let us do an exercise to help you recognize mind reading. Jesus Christ would have disliked the idea of anal intercourse.
I don't know how to answer this. God, I want to take a screenshot of it. Holy fuck. Here. Capture image. I'm gonna post this in my personal server with my friends. Yep. Okay. Well, we can continue now. I guess that's mind reading.
I know that's mind reading right there. Unless you asked Jesus Christ himself and he told you, there's no way you'd know how he feels about butt sex.
So I have borderline personality disorder, not bipolar disorder. I believe bipolar disorder is shortened to BD, while borderline personality disorder is shortened to BPD. Unfortunately, my disorder is not caused by chemicals in the brain acting up. My disorder is caused by a lot of things that isn't easily fixed by psychiatric drugs.
Very good, Samuel. Many in my time have claimed to know the mind of Jesus Christ, and none of them have ever even met him.
You were there when he was kicking around. You ever meet him?
No, that part of the world was never really vampire friendly.
In the research I've done for BPD, it's... Of course, what's wrong with me is my personality. This is a personality disorder, right? But what causes it is generally a mix of parts in my brain that regulates impulse control and emotion regulation is being malformed. So I literally have a harder time regulating my emotions than an average person, no matter what chemicals are in my brain at the moment. And it's also that and early childhood trauma. Because the reason the brain is malformed as it is, it can be from birth, but it could also, a lot of time is also from experiencing high amounts of stress as a kid, as well as general trauma, while the brain is still developing. If that makes sense.
The chair you're sitting in is one of his, though. Magnificent,
What?
isn't it?
Okay.
Jesus Christ made this chair?
He was a carpenter. Okay.
I bought it cheaply before he became a big deal. He was certainly ahead of his time as a carpenter.
Yeah, I mean, with my reading, for example, I exhibited those symptoms back in kindergarten. I experienced those distortions, that is, not the symptoms. When I was in kindergarten, I thought I thought my entire class hated me because I knew they disliked me. Just by looking at me, they disliked me. For no reason. And that's my reading.
Dang. Now I feel awkward sitting in this thing.
And, like, you know, I know now that's not the case, but back then I had this big problem where I thought every single kid, teacher hated me for no reason. They just did.
It's more than 2,000 years old, Samuel. It is still just a chair, and it's experienced millennia of past wind. Don't worry about it. Crimson is upset with me because I forgot to take out the garbage. I know, because she told me so.
You sure that's why Crimson's mad at you, boss? It seems a pretty minor thing to be upset about.
It is up to Crimson whether she is upset or not. If she tells me why she is upset, I am not reading her mind. That is the nice thing about good communication. One never needs to wonder.
That's true. Communication is the most important thing, really.
Dang, so it's not mind reading then.
Correct, Samuel. Let us keep going, though. I sent my friend Vlad an internet message, and he left it on read. He must hate me.
You know, I thought that about some people too back when I was a teenager.
That's some mind reading for sure. There's no way you know what Vlad's thinking. Maybe he wasn't ready to answer, or maybe he forgot.
Excellent, Samuel. That's correct. There are endless reasons why Vlad would leave my messages on read, and only Vlad knows them. Reading too much into an internet message is a massive waste of time.
Yeah, I know.
Now, the Pony Express was a lot healthier, I think. This internet stuff makes people get real nutty.
And yeah, but at some point, it can get to an unhealthy extreme.
Mortals are in more of a rush than we are, I'm afraid. Let us continue.
Like, yeah, for sure, but like, at least for me personally, sometimes it wasn't even that I thought people like hated me. It was like, oh, somebody left my message on Reddit, didn't respond to me after a few hours. When my personality disorder was at its worst, I generally thought that they died in some accident, and I got freaked out about it. And I got really upset, about, oh, this person must have died. So I started sending all these upset messages like, hey, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay? Is something wrong? Are you alive? And then like a couple hours later, the person would be like, yeah, I'm fine. Are you good? You're not acting normal. I'm like, oh, okay.
One of the patrons of my club was having dirty thoughts about me. I know because I read his mind with my vampiric powers.
Oh, you might have somebody with your vampiric powers.
I told our bouncer Bert a funny joke the other day. He was quiet but very amused.
Yeah, as I said, this stuff that like these were symptoms I was experiencing back when I was like 14, 15. It doesn't really happen anymore. Thank goodness. But you know, asking, you know, just maybe, I don't know what I'm going on about. Sometimes I still get like feelings of like, oh, are they alright? They haven't texted back in a few days. Then I start getting worried, but it's not nearly as bad.
You did not find all the instances of mind reading, Samuel.
Oh.
Jesus Christ would have disliked the idea of.
I know.
I'm skipping through that.
Oh, that's part. The chair you're sitting.
Jesus Christ.
I bought it.
Dang.
It's more than two. Crimson is upset with me because I forgot to take a. I sent my friend Vlad an internet message.
That's some
excellence. Reading too much.
The Pony Express.
Mortals are. One of the patrons of my club was having dirty thoughts about me. I told our bouncer Bert a funny joke the other day. He was quiet. But
how the heck would you know if Bert was amused by your jokes? That's clearly mind reading.
You are correct, Samuel. No one knows what Bert is thinking. I like to think he dreams of butterflies. But who can say?
I don't think he's thinking of butterflies.
Then you are mind reading, Samuel. Let Bert be Bert.
Yeah, I guess so.
I believe you now understand that mind reading may have closed the door on some opportunities for you.
I suppose. I can't really know either way, but I guess that's the point of all this. Knowing what's real and what's not.
Yeah.
Exactly, Samuel. So tell me, what happened to you and your brother?
You don't know already. I thought we were famous Wild West outlaws. They called us the Handsome Boys, on account of the fact that we were young and good-looking. I think we made as close to a living as possible while keeping up a life like that for some 35 years. They stopped calling us the Handsome Boys eventually. Mostly they just called us those two sumbitches. Jeb and I married a pair of sisters, even talked about settling down in some kind of fashion. I guess we got greedy, though. One last big job, as they say in the pictures. Met this fella in a saloon who'd heard of us. Went by Ernie. He said he'd help us take down the Pioneer Missouri Bank. A take of $30,000, split 3 ways. That's about $1 million in today's dollars, but that kind of money was unthinkable back when. We got the money all right, but my brother got shot in the head. Dead before he even hit the ground. I didn't know who did it, so in my rage, I killed every soul in that bank. Ernie and I ran off with that dirty money, but weren't nothing the same after that. When she heard the news, my sister-in-law was screaming so loud she scared the coyotes away. My wife left with her that night, and I didn't see either of them ever again. Not sure I wanted to. I had $15,000 and no interest in spending it. Just sat there in a sack. When Ernie invited me to join his gang, I saw no reason not to. I'm pretty sure I signed that devil's contract as soon as I started killing them folks in the bank.
I am sorry, Samuel. That is a truly horrifying story. I can hear the pain in your voice. Your brother was precious to you.
Yeah. He wasn't a good man, Andy. But he kept me safe. Without him, I knew I'd be doomed. I was certain I had no choice but to join the Mystic Bastards. Yeah, I know. Cognitive distortion.
I know you know, Samuel. A new one, but I think you can identify it on your own. What is the cognitive distortion you're displaying now?
I was too sure of my fate.
I was so sure I was right to join the Mystic Bastards. Ain't nobody could have convinced me otherwise.
Indeed, Samuel. This cognitive distortion is known as being always right. And when you are always right, your choices are limited, even if they lead to doom. We become so convinced that only we have the appropriate perspective, even in a world of infinite possibilities. One would expect immortals to be immune to this distortion after seeing their beliefs challenged over generations. But we are just as susceptible to being always right.
I feel like I've displayed that before, but not like super often. It's not something I really struggle with.
Let's try some examples so you can identify when I am always right. I have the experience of ages. My authority cannot be questioned.
Okay, Boomer.
Excuse me?
Just something I hear the kids say when old mortal folk are acting like they're always right. The folks born after World War II are real good at destroying the world, but they assume age leads to wisdom. It ain't necessarily so.
You are always right about that. Well done, Samuel. With my multi-generational economic expertise, I am confident that market conditions will result in mass layoffs in the next quarter.
Hold on, you can't know that layoffs are going to happen after the next financial quarter.
I did not say that I was certain, just that I had earned confidence in my prediction. Modern stock markets are run by a cabal of dark cultists, and one can make educated predictions about their behavior.
Yeah, for sure.
Wait, are you serious?
Being aware of them is the first step, though.
Yes. They sacrifice all to the dark god of ever-increasing profit. You should know this, Samuel. Their dark gospel reigns supreme in your land.
Okay.
Oh, right. I guess I never thought as institutional investment bankers as dark cultists, but you're right. That's exactly what they are.
If only they had chosen a more ethical god than unrestrained capitalism. I know that turning another into a vampire inevitably results in resentment.
That sounds like you're always right. I know a lot of us vampires ain't too happy with our lot in life, but we ain't always resentful.
That is correct, Samuel. Of course, we must be careful when choosing whom we turn and when. Choosing to live forever is not a choice casually made.
It ain't usually a choice at all.
But we will endeavor to break that cycle, my friend. We have enough clients already without having more resentful immortals running around. Let us continue.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, like, it's not even just because they're bored too. They just have more. Well, of course they have more time on their hands to do such things, but also more resources financially to get very, very special occultic items on their hands and shit.
I know for a fact that vampires become misanthropic as they age. I do not need your perspective.
And now hold on, you ain't always right. You thinking we're gonna turn into misanthropes is limiting you from making new vampires, but that's just your thinking.
Very good, my dear Samuel. Caution is warranted when bringing a new soul into the dark, but I must consider perspectives other than my own. I have not had much good fortune with my children of darkness, but I am indeed not the only judge of character.
You got kids, Andy?
I had many dark children before I recognized the gravity inherent in doing so. I only wish more of my brethren could learn what a responsibility it is to begin the unlife of another. I know the internet is a passing fad. I have seen technology come and go, so I can trust my own expertise.
I think you're doing a little always right there, Andy. A lot of folks had unwavering confidence that the fax machine was going to stick around forever, but they weren't right neither.
Truly? I still use my fax machine. It is the preferred mode of communication among vampires here in Germany.
Heck, I guess that just proves no one is always right about technology. I think I get it, boss. If I had found folks to listen to other than myself, maybe I wouldn't have joined up with Ernie's gang.
Perhaps, perhaps not. You had plenty of reasons for making the choices you made. Reflecting on them is what helps us to grow.
Yeah, I'm a lucky fellow all in all. I did some stuff with those vampires that I was pretty sure erased any humanity I had left, but I was wrong. Them transcendentalists I hold up with were ready to help me no matter how nasty I was. And I know I've done a lot of thinking on my own, but I owe them everything.
I've done a lot of thinking on my own, but I owe them everything. Is that so, Samuel? Can you point out your own distortion there?
It's my old favorite sneaking up on me, disqualifying the positive. I did plenty of work on myself.
That's right, Samuel. And why were the transcendentalists able to help you? We just went over it tonight.
Wasn't mind reading?
I wasn't assuming they thought I was scum, which would have been mind reading. I'll let them help me.
Excellent, Samuel. Your capacity for self-reflection, and so quickly, is truly inspiring. I almost feel as though my blood is circulating on its own.
Oh, come on, Andy. I'm just a fella.
You have earned a reprieve from disqualifying the positive, my friend. Embrace it. I believe we have had a productive session today. Let us not press matters. This is difficult work, and you are handling it wonderfully. How do you feel?
You know, I feel okay. Somehow it's better than feeling good. What happened is what happened. Some bad stuff happened to me, and I did some bad stuff. And none of it lasts forever. That's the nice thing about having all the time in the world.
Your trials have made you wise indeed, my dear Samuel. Now rest, my friend. You shall soon share your wisdom with your clients. I wish you a good night.
Yeah, I believe it's early coffin time for me tonight. Have a good night, Andy.
You as well, Samuel. Rest in peace.
That was a lot to take in.
Samuel, greetings.
Okay.
You look a bit pale. May I offer you something to drink?
Alright. I feel like this is a good stopping point for now. Let's move over to the screen. We did like a whole, I think a whole month of in-game time, which I think that's a good stopping point. So, you know, exit game. I'm having fun with the game so far. I feel like I'm also learning a little bit about myself in a way. It's like, oh, haha, I do that. Over and over again, and it's interesting to think about and talk about. I think the next day I'm gonna be likely to stream is probably gonna be either Saturday or Sunday. I know I had to go out to dinner with family on Saturday, I think. So I don't know. I definitely can't do Friday because I have DD session on that day. I work Thursday, which is tomorrow. Yeah, of course. It is definitely interesting. And then if I can't do Saturday, I could probably do Sunday or maybe Monday at the very latest. So yeah, I'll need to get in touch with you guys in the Discord server to see whether or not you guys want to do more Vampire Therapist or like an ASMR stream or something. I've also there's been a game I've been playing in my off time as well that I kind of want to do a review for and make like a very long review video about it, because I think I have a lot to say about the game, but we'll see how that turns out. No guarantee. Yeah, I hope everyone has a good day or a good night wherever you're at, and I will hopefully see you guys again in the next couple days. That'd be a new type of yeah, for sure. It's a game that recently got released. It had a Steam release, but I played it a long time ago when I was like, I don't know, 13, 14 or something. And I really liked it back then, and now I have a much more critical eye towards it, which, again, I have a lot to say about it. So I think that'll be fun. And just, I mean, I had to learn a lot more editing techniques to get that done right, I think. Yeah. I'm gonna go eat lunch, because I haven't eaten much aside from a small bowl of cereal. So I'll see you guys in a few days, hopefully. Bye.